much more of a sort of bookish looking kind of guy, always has a book in his hand or something to occupy his time. Very, and there goes my train of thought.
That sounds awesome. So
but yeah, he's just, sort of average looking guy, doesn't really put out much in the way of, person. He's very amicable looking, always kind of half smiling, lets people walk up to him. But, there's not much behind the smile that he lets out.
Okay. Very cool. Thank you, Cheryl. Armis, the our rogue wizard, 1 level of wizardry. All right, excellent. Next, we have Zurgosh and Bryn. So Deborah and Katarina, you guys want to share your characters?
Okay, I'll go first. Let me know if you can hear me okay, because
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. So my character is Bryn. Her last name's Firebrand. She is a mountain dwarf barbarian.
Nice.
Completely different than anything that I've been playing on the game, so that will be fun. She has red hair, tends to be a little bit paler than your average dwarf, but she is a mountain dwarf, so that's, to be expected at times. She has green eyes. She has a fiery personality, which is also expected, I think. She has long red hair. She kind of pulls it back in a braid, but it's a little bit messy. She sort of a no-nonsense attitude. She is charismatic, but she's also quick to anger as well, which can tend to lead to a brawl at times, but that's just the way she is. So that's Bryn.
Awesome.
And then I'm Katarina. I'm playing Zuragash. And he is this really tall and giant half orc, and he's a bard, which is pretty fun. He looks fairly wild, dark hair, lots of scars, those kinds of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Excited to learn more. Brittany and Travis, we'll learn who you guys are playing.
My character's name is Durga. Oh, sorry, I'm Brittany. My character's name is Durga, and she's a blue fire genasi with white eyes and long, straight black hair.
Nice.
She's wearing studded leather and has scimitars on each hip.
Okay.
Dual wielding, no shield or anything.
Okay.
And yeah.
She's a dual wielding, no shield. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I think I have one with it. I have a dual.
Oh, no.
So I'll swap her out when I can.
No worries. That mini is really cool.
I'm hearing you in your mind, Malcolm, start going through the list of minis and adding the ones.
Yeah. You should see my Amazon list, or it's just like minis that I need to get like that for certain players. It's so funny and paid.
If you ever need anything weird, just out of this world, Malcolm has it around hand. If you need something simple like a bear, he has to get up and go get it.
Yeah, but I have to go get the bear, the simple things. Awesome. The genasi are tough to come by. They're hard to find. So those are definitely a race where you throw me for a loop and I'm like, I need to get a genasi. Awesome. What's up, Angus? I think you're muted.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Good stuff. Okay, so good to see you, man. We're just going through you're right on time. Everyone's kind of just introducing their characters. We have not started playing yet.
Okay.
Which I kind of figured was going to be the case right now, but we're making pretty decent time. In fact, it's about 6:30, so I imagine we'll be in the game in about 5 minutes. Excellent. So going back to Travis, you were saying, maybe
yes, I'm Travis, and the character's name is Magnus. He's just 6'2" tiefling, with dark auburn hair and red eyes, with black ram horns and reddish tan skin, kind of in the middle between Akuma from Street Fighter and Red 13 from Final Fantasy 7.
I like it. I love that. That's you're the second player to describe a tiefling as Akuma. With horns, and I like it. It's a perfect example. Yeah, it's great. Kind of fiery eyes and deep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, awesome. Well, anything else about him you might want to share?
He's just a cleric, but he's wearing like a chain shirt, bears a shield, a round shield, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing. Drax, most of us know you, but for the newcomers.
Hola. Sorry, I put the SIP at the button on. So I'm Drax, and you can see I kind of put him here just so we can.
That's a great way to do it, by the way. If anybody wants to try, that's a good way for people to see what you're playing.
So Drax is a fighter, dragonborn, and he's even in the last campaign, he was always just kind of known for his size. I've always pictured him kind of like Hulk in the X-Men and Endgame, where he's in the back of the truck and the truck's like sliding in the just because he's just so large. And he wears his chainmail. He tends to he has his face. He's all red. He's a red dragonborn, but his face is almost like an alive, like hard mask that moves with him. And so he's a bit of an alcoholic, especially when his half orc character left him during lessons. And but yeah, he's had a long history in war. And the last time he was in a war, he got his whole team got decimated to the point where he had nothing to go back to. So he just went up and he got caught up in the last campaign. And so he's trying to find his place, very kind of quiet in the beginning and just rolls his eyes a lot because he's a little bit of like middle-aged kind of. He's seasoned. And but then as he gets to know you, you'll know how much he just loves beer.
Yeah, it's awesome. He loves to raid whatever dungeon we're in. He's like, "Is there beer I can take?" I'm like, "It might be stale, but yeah, I think there's some in the corner."
So yeah.
And now he's learned to not be so hasty with the health potions.
Yeah. Oh.
Still seems to want to go in and beat things up before.
Basically, yeah. So
Drax open the door and fight whatever's on the other side.
So Drax is always like, he's always the one's like, we need to go in that door. I'll go in first. You know, he'll always put his shield in front of anybody he's in battle with.
Yep.
And he will run right in, a little too much sometimes.
Awesome. Thank you, Ohan. Yes, love it. Henry.
Yeah, so I'm playing Sapper. He is a deep gnome wizard. He's short and stocky. Kind of has a bunch of scars on his face. He's also ex-military, and that's kind of where his name comes from. He's just there to kind of blow things up.
Okay, awesome, yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah,
little like a bomb crazed gnome. I like it.
Yeah.
Let's move to Sean.
Hey guys, my name is Sean. So I'm playing Quinrich Farfoot. He's this kind of small halfling, and just kind of wearing like pretty basic garb, kind of like a green shirt, white trousers, leather armor. He's got like a bow around the back and a small short sword on the side, and pretty youthful features. Looks really young, and kind of based on his mannerisms. Kind of sprightly, excitable, energetic, and seems kind of younger than he might let on, and doesn't strike you as like a typical ranger type.
Love it. Very cool. Quinrich Farfoot. All right. Angus, returning Lee. Lee somehow made it out of Eberron and is back on the Sword Coast. I love it.
Yes. On the move like always.
Yeah.
I play a human monk. I'm about medium build, not super swole like a bodybuilder, but he's definitely athletic. He's dressed in traditional martial arts gi. The sleeves are cut off just to like show off his arms. He doesn't wear any like fancy jewelry whatsoever, but he does wear a string of prayer beads that are around his wrist like a bracelet, and the largest set of prayer beads around his neck, kind of like Akuma from Street Fighter.
There we go.
Most of the time, he'll wear like a rice paddy straw hat to cover his face. But if he does takes it off, you'll see like emerald green eyes, and his hairstyle is very unique to his people, where the front half is shaved completely bare, but the back half is tied into a long ponytail that stretches down to his lower back.
Awesome, very cool. I love the character descriptions. I can see them all very vividly. So thank you everyone for that, and excited to get to know them much more. Does anybody need a quick restroom break or anything like that, or everybody's ready for us to kind of move forward and with the game? All right. All right, so what I will say, last few things about kind of like using Zoom is, if it sounds like everybody's got a really quiet background, so you guys are mostly should be fine. But if the things end up being maybe noisy on your end, or there's sometimes maybe you have a fan that's running, you can just put yourself on mute until it's your time to talk. Right now, I don't hear any problems. I don't hear any like major background noise. But that's kind of like some kind of like etiquette we use there as well. If you're new to Zoom, in the upper left hand or right hand corner, I'm sorry, you can see like your speaker view. Like, I know, so for some of you, sometimes it defaults to like you log on and you only see whoever's talking. So right now you just might see me. If you want to see everyone and kind of feel like you're sitting at the table, I recommend the gallery view, right? You click the gallery view and it'll show everyone that's on the screen. You'll even see the table at the same time. And then what I went over before, if you wanted to increase, put one, maybe make the table the main screen and put everyone on the side, you can pin it by going to that actual screen, choosing the little 3 dots that appear, that hover there, and clicking it and clicking pin. And then you can always unpin it so that it goes back to normal. You can also use the chat to talk to other players or share stuff while other people are talking if you like. There's nothing, it's perfectly fine to do that. Sometimes people share jokes there or little comments about things that are happening in the game. And I think that's kind of really it. When initiative does come out of combat, I might have someone put the initiative in the chat so everyone can reference it for ease of reference. All right, I think that's it. I know I keep saying that, and there's always something else, but I think we're actually ready. Now, the last thing I'm going to share before we start, I did this at the beginning of Minds of Fandover, and I think what's good to do here, it's about 3 or 4 minutes tops, but it's a little video that the gentleman named Mac Anderson makes on YouTube that just share like an introduction to the world that we're playing in and kind of the setting. And I find that by watching them, I get a really good sense of kind of like the theme, that it kind of gets everybody in the same like mindset. So I'm gonna go ahead and share that. And when it's over, when I come back, when you see me again, we are going to get underway. Actually, so let me go ahead. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna pause the music that I'm sharing right now. And so everyone should see that screen I'm sharing, and then let me know if you don't hear sound. You should hear sound. Everybody still see it? Okay, cool. Yep.
The savage frontier, also known as the North, is a cold, rugged, sparsely populated land of snow-capped mountains, rocky hills, sprawling forests, and foggy vales. Isolated strongholds, ancient burial mounds, and the ruins of many forgotten empires dot this vast landscape. Bounded by the Sea of Swords to the west and the desert of Anarok to the east, the savage frontier extends as far north as Icewind Dale and as far south as the town of Daggerford. Old roads stretch across this great expanse, linking the dwarven strongholds and mines in the mountains to the coastal settlements, frontier towns, and fortified outposts of humans and other folk. These roads are long, lonely, or poorly defended, making them dangerous to traverse. In fertile valleys, towns and cities have sprung up, separated by dozens, if not hundreds of miles of untamed wilderness, haunted by bandits, barbarians, and monsters. Evil dragons, stirred into action by their dark queen Tiamat, threatened the settlements of the savage frontier for a while. Ultimately, they were defeated and forced to withdraw to their lairs, while Tiamat was banished to the 9 hells. Fear of the dragon's wrath has faded quickly with the coming of a new threat: giants. The peoples of the north are no strangers to giant incursions. Frost giants have long claimed the spine of the world as their domain, and hill giants are known to scrounge for food in the untamed hills. But now, in the past couple of months, giants of every kind have emerged from their strongholds in force to threaten civilization as never before. And not just frost giants and hill giants, but also stone giants, fire giants, and cloud giants. All of the giants are in an uproar. Reports of giant attacks throughout the north have reached the coastal cities of Luskan, Neverwinter, and Waterdeep, stoking fears that the giants are waging war against humans, dwarves, elves, and other small folk.
All right, so welcome to Storm King's Thunder. Tonight's game will kick off now. So what I'd like to do is set the stage for where we are, where your characters actually come into all of this. Give me 1 second here. Let's pull up. So when we last left off, most of your characters, however you'd like to you're welcome to fill out your backstory a little bit more, but what I'll kind of interject at this point is that you've all been to the town of Phandalin, and maybe being the type of adventurers you are, you've all recently taken up a job. But before we kind of get into that job, I want to set the stage is that several months have passed since our last party's adventurers thwarted the evil drow elf known as the Black Spider. While this wasn't an earth-shattering, event by any means, the locals of the town of Phandalin still talk very highly of this group, calling them sometimes the Spider Killers or even the Beholden, based on the account that they allegedly killed a multiple-eyed creature from another dimension. The Wave Echo Caves that are right outside of the small, rough and tumble town of Phandalin are now, their mines within have now resumed operation. The mid-sized town has seen a bump in its prosperity in the last 6 months. And they're kind of back on the map. But unfortunately, the magic that Gundren Rockseeker, who is the dwarf who's kind of heading up the forge, the magic that prosperity that he expected to see out of the forge that is there in the Wave Echo Cave hasn't come back. It seems that the forge is so badly damaged that it's not what it once was. Gundren is still determined, though, to bring some power back to the forge, some glory, even if it's just to be able to create decent magical weapons in the process, while the rest of the mine is just kind of tooling for valuable resources, valuable minerals and so forth. And so as he's working on that, recently he talked with his good friend who is now the leader of the town master, Sildar Hallwinter, Sildar is a man who kind of brought some law and order to the town, and he heads up a guild, which is where a lot of you have come in, whether you've taken jobs here before, you were passing through and you needed some money. It was a good place to go to get postings. What's also been happening is caravans have started going to the north, to the frigid lands of Icewind Dale. It's because there are miners up there that are coming to work in the mines down on the coastal land of Phandalin and so forth, kind of going back. And that has caused those caravans, to need bodyguards, right? People to help. And on this next this next caravan going up north, you all were hired for 50 gold pieces a piece to go and protect the caravan that will head up north. Right now, that caravan is heading to the town of Bryn Shander, and there's a point where the traveling, it gets cold, it gets rough. But if any of you know Gundren Rockseeker, only to those who this would probably only be to Drax, he's kind of pulled you aside and asked if there is anyone else in your party willing to help out. He's willing to pay them a little extra, 25 gold on top of what they're getting paid. But he wants to make sure that you also, when you get to Bryn Shander, to look for a dwarf named Ogden Flamebeard. He's recently taken over, a pub there in Bryn Shander. He wants him back because Ogden has an old profession. He actually used to be a very great forge master, and he believes that Ogden can help him. And so that's where we pick up. You guys have been traveling. Instead of starting in some tavern, you guys have been on this journey now for almost a little over 5 days. You're halfway there. There's about 5 days left, and you're just starting to enter the cold lands. You're starting to enter the part of the north where the snow is falling, the winds are starting to pick up a bit, and you're coming up on the end of the day where it's time to pitch camp. And I'd like to go around and turn this over to you all to allow you guys to role play. But almost the way you introduce your character, I'd like to hear how you help or how you don't help set up camp. What do we see you doing? And we'll go from there. I've been talking for a while, but I'll also add the travel master, the person who's guiding you, is a gentleman named Warren, dark-skinned fellow who wears a hat, kind of makes sure he's been doing this for a long time. He knows these roads, he knows the trails, he knows what monsters may be around. And so he likes to smoke his pipe at night, but he's really good on information, a good person to go to. You're also traveling with a pair of barbarians who have only named themselves, they look like twin brothers. Their names are Oxford and Brogue, and they talk in very fancy accents, even though they brandish and carry these huge axes. And they just recently, on one of the stops, were protecting a family that made it to the last town you passed. And so now they're just going up to Bryn Shander to relax and drink before they decide their next move. Outside of that, you also have a ranger with you, and her name is Nora Lightheart, who is always kind of on watch and looking around. So I know there's a lot of information, a lot of lore dumped there, but we'll kind of pick it all up. But what do we see as you guys take over and start pitching your camp for the night?
What's the travel master's name again?
His name is Warren Marquise.
What do the fancy speaking brothers do when we start breaking camp?
So they seem to be like over near like one of the trees, kind of talking with each other, kind of like jovial, laughing, but not doing anything at the moment, kind of taking their time. They're taking seem to be taking some relief on the fact that part of their major job is done from dropping that family off in the last town. Warren is tying the horses together, and it's cold out right now. It's fresh, very cold air. There's snow littered all over the ground. There's a little bit of it falling, and Warren was able to find a place to camp right under a rocky, not an overpass, but an overhang where the rock kind of blocks out. If a storm were to hit, it would be maybe a better shelter, not quite a cave. There are trees all around you, and I think if it better helps set the scene, here's where you all are as you're setting up your camp. So that's what the two brothers are doing. Nora is kind of off, like looking towards the trees, maybe setting traps or making sure the area seems clear and safe for camp.
So Sapper, in his kind of militaristic mentality, is kind of just walking around the camp. He's gonna use his like cantrip of mold earth to kind of dig his own little foxhole.
Okay.
Make his own space, and use his other cantrips of firebolt to start fires. To start the fires in the camp, and then he'll also set an alarm on his in his area, so in case there is an attack, he's ready. Just kind of like old habits, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Warren sees you doing it, and he's like clockwork, you little guy seems to know be on top of what you're doing there. And he says, I used to be in a regiment, but used to not be able to sleep on a comfy mattress, and now while I can't sleep in those holes in the ground, I still like my little roll mat. And he's kind of preparing his pipe for the night, while he snaps his fingers and asks the two brothers to kind of start pulling out the wood, logs of wood to prepare a campfire. They're kind of like they start to help out.
Aramis will go and help the two brothers.
Okay. So
help sort of hold whatever the smallest log it is that they're gathering for them. He is not happy that it is getting cold out. Probably as soon as it started to get a little chill, he's like pulling at the fur lining of his cloak, trying to get everything all bundled up.
And then
trying to think of how to approach this. Probably going to say to the brothers like something like so the two of you are gonna head off soon later.
We'll probably be out of your hair when we hit Bryn Shander. We definitely are excited to try the fire brandy at Kelvin's Comfort, I believe it is, right, brother? And he goes, that it is it, Kelvin's Comfort. They've got full, just like magnificent beards, right? Golden beards, blue eyes. They're rugged but they're just like very proper. They're just kind of, we both want to try the drink. And when the brother looks at the log that you picked up and goes, why don't you take this one? And throws you a much heavier one, forcing you to like catch that one. And I imagine Aramis almost staggers back, tries to.
Skinny little guy that he is, he definitely staggers back a little, has to sort of bite his lip for a second, like, and you know what? I trust the two of you. You seem to me as two gentlemen with very discerning taste. 5 days I've seen you. If I'm going to get a recommendation from anyone, it's going to be the two of you.
Excellent. We much appreciate it, sir. And can Aramis give me an insight check?
Yes, sir. +0, yay. 10.
10. Okay. So as Aramis staggers back, you just find that their way they're dressed, they're such an interesting demeanor. But when you look down as you're catching that log at their shoes, their boots are like strapped, laced all the way up tight on these barbarians. But when you look at the one brother, Brogue, whichever the one brother is, Brogue is, you notice that his shoes have these fancy patterns on the leather and little dots all over them. And Oxford's, his are just super clean, but both very nice shades of leather, but have been scuffed up from battle and fights that they've been through.
Would I be able to know something about what that pattern, like where did he get them? What that sort of indicates for,
yes.
The war?
It's literally just a DM joke that they are wearing Oxfords and Brogues are two different types of gentlemanly British shoes. And so the ones, if you ever have like the lace-up shoes with little dots and fancies on them, then I think they're the Brogues. And then the Oxfords are the ones that are always smooth. So they're both brothers and just named after those shoes. That's it.
That's it. Well, all right. After unloading my load of wood and then taking a step back so they can't hand me anything else. Like, signing after the night. I mean, I've made the offer the past couple of nights, but if you fellas wanted to play a game of cards, game of dice, celebrate going out. Your work's done.
Oh, cards.
Worked hard.
Do I hear this? Do I hear this at all?
I think, we're everyone can kind of hear each other. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that sounds fun. I'd be in for a game of cards.
Game of cards. Game of cards. Anyone else? Come on, the more the merrier.
5, yeah. I mean, she's been mentioning it for days now, and we've been, I guess we felt a bit obligated to watch the family, but I'd be happy to take some of your money, Aramis.
Oh, for coin.
Are we playing for coin?
I mean, if that's what you want, I'm more than willing.
Sounds good. What is that? Long as we're playing with some of that Dragonborn's ale that he brought from Phandalin, and then he kind of looks over. Oxford looks over towards looking for Drax. What does he see? Where's Drax doing? You are, my good sir. You are muted.
Drax is silently working.
Yeah.
Oh, Drax. He's always pretty quiet in anything he does. No, so basically what you would see Drax do is kind of just go off. He's not like circling the camp, but he goes in one direction that's kind of the opposite of what Sapper is going off. He's going around one way. I went completely the adjacent way from him.
Okay.
And I'm not like too far away. I can hear what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
But I'm old, so I'm kind of dragging my feet a little bit. Like my knee hurts a little bit, just got my brains out by a beholder. And I would just stretch my back and just sniff the air really deeply. And then after he turns to ask me about money, all you see is my silhouette and then my red eyes just looking back at you going, what game?
What does he say? What did he say last?
What game are you playing?
I know plenty. I have 3 dragon anti-set, if that's your style.
I wish you guys were playing Baldur's Dice, but fine. That card game sound fine as Warren is pulling off that big thing of ale that he kind of tips his head. He goes, well, looks at Drax, because whatever Drax recommended to bring on the trip. And he looks over at Durga and Magnus, and he's like, and he sees how tall and big she is as a Genasi, right? And they're both like Durga's 6, Magnus is 6'2" as well. So you both like, can you guys help me with these as I set them up?
Of course.
So he's like, putting them out, and he's ready to tap the start to pour some drinks, and wind is starting to pick up, huh? And he's kind of looking at Durga and Magnus.
And so
what brought you to this? I can't. Are you just heading up to Bryn Shander just for the coin of the trip? Any other motivations once you get? You can tell he's just trying to make some small talk. For the past 5 days, he probably hasn't talked to you guys that much, and so he's just opening up a little bit.
I'm up for anything. I'm looking for rare metals, anywhere I can find them.
You're looking for rare metals.
Yeah, so mine some great, some beautiful with it.
Yeah, sounds good. There are some good mines up in Bryn Shander, so you could find. Even though, I mean, you just came from the place that is starting to really boom down in Phandalin. So maybe once we get up to the north, we can head back down to Phandalin and get you some rare metals, or maybe find some on the way. And kind of looking around, what do we see? Maybe our monk or our other characters. Anyone else like? What's anyone who else wants to jump in? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, as for me, I'll just be wandering around the surrounding area. I'll be gathering firewood for the long night. Just make sure everybody stays warm. And while I'm doing that, I'm also keeping an eye out for there's any forageable plants or herbs that can be used for medicinal purposes.
Okay, yeah. You want to give me give me a survival check.
Survival check, sure. That's a 20.
Wow. I was actually going to say that it was a DC 18 because I imagine that there's not a lot of the cold is starting to kill most of the herbs that are growing around, but you find a small little patch, right, of whatever this herb is that you're looking for. What do you use it for, or which one are you looking for again? Maybe I could expand on what you find.
Basically just whatever raw materials I can find to craft a healing potion.
Okay. So I think you found what you did is you find these 2 different types of herbs that, when mixed appropriately, and you kind of know how you could create what is kind of a medicine. What do you call well, I can't think of a medicine kit, right? So you have the same thing. Basically, you have the same thing that if someone was making death saves or dying, you could stabilize them by making a medicine check. It's not a, so now here's the thing, it's not a healing potion. So it's missing like one fundamental ingredient, or maybe just the process of alchemy that you need to do. And I imagine you probably don't have that. Maybe you do, I guess, with some boiling pot of water. The thing is, I say is maybe over the night, you can make a medicine check to see if you actually create a healing potion. What I will say though, is by the process, it ruins everything. Like, from what you've discovered, you probably have 3 medicine kits, but if you kind of boil them all down and try to create the healing potion, they'll either all evaporate and they'll be gone, or you'll create one basic healing potion if you succeed.
Okay.
Okay. You can decide when to try that. As you guys are doing this, I know I'm learning new characters, and for some reason don't see Deborah's. You and Katarina's names aren't showing, so I need to go back to Storm Kings. But what do I see? Zuragash and Bryn up to?
Well, Zuragash will be mainly focusing on his own stuff and kind of pointedly not helping.
Over the course of these past few days, Zuragash being a bard, does he play an instrument? Does he tell stories? And is he a bard that does not volunteer to share this with anyone in terms of like sharing this love for whatever it does?
Yeah, so he does play instruments, but most of what he does is just sort of intimidate. That's his
okay
thing.
So looking over, Warren, and kind of leans over to the tiefling Magnus and says, "You notice that guy, the half orc, hasn't sang a song or told a goddamn story in 5 days? Like, I'm just listening to the night air and the cold, and it's always looking like mean."
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I kind of do. I mean, I pride myself on trying to be welcoming here, and it's just like, come on, after 5 days, you got to loosen up. Get him to drink some of some of this ale that Drax brought. I don't know. And then
Bet him or dare him, or I don't know. Sometimes a dare works.
Zuragash, what are you up to?
Mainly just.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Zuragash. I mean, Bryn. So I know you had said what you were doing. Bryn, what does we find the little dwarf?
I think what you would notice is that, we've been on the road for 5 days, and I think you would notice that Bryn, as soon as we arrive wherever we're going to set up camp, she's pretty methodical about finding if there is an available sort of flat rock area to sleep on. She would unroll her bedroll on that area rather than on the ground.
Okay.
And she's pretty methodical about unrolling and getting her little area set up, and then she tends to be pretty helpful in doing some heavy lifting. I think she knows that she is stronger than many of you all, even if she is shorter than you all as well.
Yeah.
And then I think, after she has helped do that, I think at the mention of precious metals and things, I think she would have perked up at that, being interested in what we might find in that regard.
Absolutely. So she's found some high ground and rolled her bed out, not sleeping down, and yeah, makes sense. She found like a flat part of that over the rock that's up a little bit higher.
Yep.
And as she's rolling out her bedroll, Nora is coming back, and she kind of looks at Bryn and says, looks all clear. And she whistles out to everyone down below, kind of standing above Nora, and she goes, "Coast is clear around here. Should be good. I'll still stay. I'm going to set up watch in a tree above, but we're good." And then we move forward in time a little bit, maybe in the next couple of hours, where you guys have been relaxed a little bit more, and now you're all sitting around the fire, or not, wherever you are in camp. I haven't heard much. What do we find Quinwich doing right now?
Yeah, so Quinrich looks like pretty excited by this new atmosphere. He kind of like says out loud, like, "Oh, this is really cool weather. I haven't seen this before." And he's like playing around with it's snow, I guess, on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like try to get like a rocky chunk of snow, and he's like, "Hey guys, check this out!" And he just chucks it and takes out his bow and tries to like get it in the air.
Give me a dexterity check, or maybe like as though you're shooting your bow and arrow, like an attack against the.
Sure. I got is that a 6 or a 9? That's a 9 plus 9, plus 18.
18, nice. So wow. So that's a high attack.
Yeah, I got a high attack bonus.
Great. So you'd like put a hole right through you do it like right, it goes up in the sky and it just kind of bursts over everyone, and a little bit of this cold rains down on everyone, and Warren kind of tips his hat and some of the snow falls on the brim, and he's like sipping like whatever, like his drink, and he's like he looks over at you kind of like not amused, and he's like,
"What?
It's just your first time in the snow. It's only gonna get colder."
Seems fun to me.
And so yeah, you guys are just kind of sitting around the fire there, and I imagine I'd like to, if you're not, then we can continue to move forward. But if just maybe talking amongst yourselves as characters, here's a good time to do that if you guys would like to.
Yeah, I think Sapper would have also joined in on this card game.
Mm-hmm.
Typical military activities, right?
Let me
I'll join too. I won't play the game, but I'll spectate. I'll be busy packing my pipe with some tobacco, and I'll watch you guys play.
I too will be spectating.
So we'll say, are you guys at a point where so is everybody willing to put up 1 gold piece for this hand here that we're playing, or and so everyone is going to roll a performance check, and we'll compare them to each other. The person that rolls the highest performance. Now, if any of you have like sleight of hand, you can actually use sleight of hand instead, if that's higher, because maybe you're good at cards that way. Maybe you're a cheater. I don't know, but
yeah,
you don't have to say.
Private message. I sent you a private message.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
We're all looking at you, Aramis.
20 plus 10 sleight of hand.
Nope. No. Don't like it.
Stakes are pretty high here. One gold. All right. Let's see what they got.
Ooh. So has anybody beaten her?
18 plus 4 for sleight of hand. 22.
That's close.
Ooh. So you're watching as you're kind of like end up on this, raking in on this little makeshift table you guys have maybe set up.
Yeah, and after a little while, he starts showing off. Aramis, he is shuffling the deck. He is tossing everyone their card.
So imagine like you guys have played like 3 rounds and you've all lost to Aramis so far, right? So you're a little upset. You guys were playing for, bronze coins, and you upped it to some silver, and now you just lost some gold. And you're like, oh, God. So do you guys continue?
You guys seem like professionals to me. I'm going to...
With Zuragash would probably not be playing in this.
And everybody who was playing, give me an insight check. Sorry to talk over you, Bryn. I'm sorry.
I got
I think I cut off Bryn, so I'm going to go back to you, Deborah. But I was asking, since the game was over, everybody to give me that quick check for insight.
That's a 20 for me.
Are we checking?
Just insight. Oh, only if you were playing the game.
Okay, there.
Only if you're playing the game. Yeah.
Can I do just for fun?
Yeah, you can, because you were watching. You were like,
I was
playing,
watching.
Or you were watching. So you said you got a 20, right?
20, yeah.
Okay.
I got a 17.
Okay.
Board?
So, okay, 20. Let's see. That was Magnus who got a 24, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I want to give Aramis, I'd like you to look. Might send out a quick message to a couple of you guys, but
secrets.
I know. All right, just so everybody. So what were you actually going back to, Bryn? What were you saying?
I was just saying I can imagine. I don't think Bryn would be playing.
Yeah.
She'd probably be sitting off to the side, drinking, maybe teasing Zuragash a little bit because he's so stoic all the time, trying to get him to laugh, and So I don't think I would be paying attention to the game.
Okay, makes sense. So so she's not paying attention to the game. Kind of like over with Zurgash, and I'll say everybody's insight checks. You made them. You saw what you saw, and you guys played the game, and things kind of move on. And Warren's kind of chuckling. He goes, "That one right there is going to keep taking you guys' money. You guys are stupid. I played the first night. No more." So you guys can continue on role playing as you wish here. I do have
Did the two brothers keep playing?
Oh yeah, they lost too. They'll play another hand with you. And actually they didn't yet. I just imagine they roll. So I'll have them roll. Ooh, nat 20.
Ooh.
So I'm just gonna go with that. They got a 20. So if you want to play another round with them,
Does it look like what's their emotion with parting with their coin, the two brothers?
They're kind of like they're kind of like still in it. They're like, oh, let them go. They're kind of looking at everybody like poor, like they're they're like making little jokes like too rich for your blood, huh? We can keep going. And they got.
So if they're still in good spirits, then I'm gonna play another round with them.
I picture Drax just looking at the money he's lost, and then just makes eye contact with Artemis, and I just go down to slits, and then just a little bit of smoke comes out of my nose, and then I just get up silently. I go to a corner of the camp. I look at the snow underneath my feet, and I blow a little fire around me, and I spin around like a little dog, and I just sit.
Magnus, did you see what I sent you? I sent you something in chat. And that's something you can keep to yourself. You don't have any obligation to share, but something.
I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said too. I meant to say. Here, I'm sending it back to you. Okay, there. That's what I meant in terms of the name. So you think that? Yep. But okay. So then you guys are kind of sitting around and. Well, you guys think we should turn it in for the night? Warren kind of looks around. Nora's like, I'm going to take first watch, so I'll be up. But and the brothers are finishing up their round or hand with Armis. What did Armis roll?
Oh, I didn't roll that second sleight of hand for them. Ooh. 21.
21. So you beat them by 1, and so they're just like, and they on that hand they put up a good like 5 gold each. And so you just made another 10 gold.
Ooh, yeah, how much did I get overall out of everything?
So let's say 3. So everybody, I know I kind of made that arbitrarily. I made the call to say that everybody played 3 hands. So everyone lost 3 gold from everyone else too.
Ouch.
So you made 3 off of every person. So that's, do the math because I'm not good at it. And then you can take, I won't give you the extra. You can take 10, just take 10 total off of the NPCs.
Okay.
So, hey, you got some gold. Hopefully she won't be stingy. She'll end up sharing it back with you, everybody, to buy stuff later on.
One way or another.
Yeah. Sapper, have you already turned in? Are you sleeping in your little foxhole yet, or what are you up to?
Yeah, I think once the dejection of losing my 3 gold and everyone else calling it for the night, he'll go into his foxhole.
Yeah. Well, Warren's kind of sitting around and he goes, well, kind of good actually, talking to you all. I'm excited to get to Bryn Shander and, lay in a decent bed. But he goes, it's weird all the stuff I've been hearing about, giants and attacks on, villages. Most people think it's kind of rumors, but I mean, everybody knows giants. Every now and then you'll come across them. But I heard that Tribor, the village of Tribor, it's only not too far away from Foundling. I don't know if you guys heard, but everybody's saying that village got attacked by 3 or 4 hill giants, all throwing rocks, and it was terrible. A lot of people died. Don't know what's going on. 2 years ago it was the dragons, and now it feels like the giants. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting a little too drunk, believing too many tales.
When was the most recent attack?
Based on that story of Tribe War, that would have been about a week ago. Yeah, but I don't know. Sildar is not talking much about it there in Vandalin. I imagine he feels that it's a one-off and it won't happen to us. But who knows? You know, who knows?
How big are they? How big are these giants?
I came across a giant once before, and I can't say I've ever tested one in battle.
You saw one?
Yes, hill giant once before. Crude fellow. Ravenous hunger. I just saw it standing on a hill, eating goats, eating sheep in the field. Poor farmer had to just watch the giant devour one after another his sheep whole. And they don't swallow them, just tearing, just meat and leg and bone. It was a mess. So thank God it was just the sheep and not any humanoids or human folk.
Well, it would be fun to see a giant.
You seem to think a lot of things that are very dangerous are fun. So if you're looking for more fun, I'm sure you're going to find it up in the north.
You should totally go up to a giant and show him that little snowball trick you do.
Oh, I will. I'm sure I can cheer them up. They seem pretty grumpy bunch.
Yeah, it worked on us.
Yeah. But I don't know. World's getting crazy, becoming a crazy place. You got giants. You got dragons. Drax, didn't you hear about just months ago, the story about that Chirovaner, that supposed white dragon, right? He was, weren't you supposed to go on a mission, you and your original group, and weren't you supposed to kill that motherfucker?
We came across a green one instead. And that was fun.
That was you? You guys finished the one in Thunder Tree? In the ruins?
Yep. Some good beer over there.
What do they call him in the stories? Venom Fang. Venom Fang, yeah. That was, I believe it. Interesting. Come on, half-orc. Zurgosh, you don't have any songs about dragons or nothing?
No.
Oh, okay. and the way Zurgosh barks back no, Warren just kind of like eyes go to the floor. Well, fair enough. I guess I'm being too talkative. I am going to go ahead and bid you guys adieu and turn in for the night. I'm starting to feel my pipe and my liquor. And he goes and lays in his, on his little mat and kind of leans back, folds his arm, pulls up. You can tell he's been out here in the cold so long. He doesn't even really like bustle up, just kind of lays there, pulls his hat down, and goes to sleep. If you guys want to move on to the next day or to going on to travel, we can. Is there anything else anybody else would like to do?
Yeah, before I rest, can I try crafting that one healing potion?
Absolutely. So now that the fire is all yours, you've kind of set up your little shop, your little plate. You guys are all watching Lee as he's setting up, and you can describe for me what it may look like as you try to craft this potion, and you can all maybe, I don't know if you guys jump in or say anything as he does so.
Yeah, I'll just take out my mortar and pestle and those 3 raw materials that I gathered earlier in the day. I'll just put them in the pestle. I'll start grinding it together, and eventually I'll use prestidigitation to heat up glass vials.
Okay.
To brew together.
Yeah. So you can give me a medicine check. I'm going to give you advantage because of the way you described it. The difficulty for that is going to be a DC 15.
All right, that's going to be 25.
Shit. Well, there you go. You have a nice little, and you can tell it's still curing, but you can tell that like you feel like you're doing it all right. It all looks right, from the color, the hue. Those herbs start to burn down. They start to create that nice bluish red color. And then you know that you need to let it cool off, and I'm sure you bottle it once it's cool. And 2d4 plus 4
Okay.
healing potion.
Cool. Awesome. Cool.
I don't know if anybody's ever seen a healing potion made before, so I don't know if anybody else has anything to say about that. But Lee just made a healing potion. Might come in handy in the future.
Oh yeah, Drax watched very carefully.
And so time passes on. You guys all end up kind of resting and going to sleep. Next morning, you guys wake up. It's a bit hazy and outside, but it's actually quite beautiful. It's pretty. It's not snowing. You can see the mountainscape all around you, and there's plains all before you and some forests around. And you end up traveling over the next course of the day. Things go pretty uneventful. Another night of the same. And like I said, you're probably now almost like into day 4, almost 3 days out. And as you're traveling, you're coming up on a lake. This kind of a part of the lake, I forget exactly. I can give you the name that I know Warren would know it as, if anybody wants to know that. It's in the middle of it's probably like it's probably like 1 p.m. And it is a bit cold. There is some snow kind of falling. But it's frozen, and Warren is like, this is what we do here. Everything seems fine. Ice should be good. Sometimes we do. If the ice isn't good, I'll take the mountain pass. But that's going to take us, and probably adds another day going around the mountain than just going straight over the lake. So if anybody doesn't have any qualms against that, then we just head across.
If I fall in, I'm going to hold you responsible, and I'm going to be very unhappy.
Fair enough. And so you guys start across the lake, moving with the carts, and you guys have there's 4 horses and there's 2 carts. There are some supplies that are being taken right now to the Bryn Shander, which is the town that you're headed to off there in the north, that are being taken to the Kelvin's Comfort, which is the kind of inn tavern there. So as you're traveling, things go pretty well so far. Can I get a survival check from everyone?
$16.
I want to know, and and what's going to be most important is the lowest person. So you can even put them in the chat. The lowest survival number.
Big 4.
Oh, that's a natural 1 for me.
Oh god.
Ouch.
Oops.
You got a 1.
Ooh, we got a lot of 4s.
Oh wow.
So Trax heavy self, that makes sense. Zuragosh heavy, yeah, it makes sense.
It's the benefit of being small and light.
Yep, all the tieflings. It's so funny. Yeah. All the heavy humanoid creatures.
Yep.
They rolling a lot of 4s.
Aramis, no, he's
except for Aramis.
So as you guys are kind of walking off and everything, seems fine, there's a moment where the groups that don't have the 4s are you're standing within an earshot of each other, walking on the sides, and you start to hear this kind of creaking on the ice. And Warren's up at the front, and he's like, stop.
That doesn't sound right.
It's not good. He's like, all right, just move slow. And it's pretty much anyone who rode under. We'll just take the 4s for now. If you and the 1. So Lee, you as well. You need to give me a acrobatics check. It's like just with him guiding you. It's going to be a pretty easy check. So just don't. He's like, with him guiding you, it's a DC 5 acrobatics to just move slowly out of the range of the breaking ice.
Barely.
Oh, that's a 17 for me.
Okay. So if you passed, everyone passed with nothing under a 5. Okay. So tension's kind of strong for a moment. He's like, oh, okay, keep moving. All right, and Drax as Drax kind of steps away from one section, the ice kind of crumples in, and there's just like a hole where Drax was standing. He goes, okay, everybody just kind of fan out and move. Maybe the ice isn't as secure as I thought. It is early, and right now it is like it's early fall for the Sword Coast, which doesn't mean much. So it's not winter, but up in the north, as you crawl north, it's like always cold, right? So it only gets worse as the winter months, as you move through fall. And so you guys end up traveling in another 5 or 10 minutes. You're like right there at the end of the lake. And right in that moment around there's a ton of just rough tundra, some trees, some rocky, broken, most of like rocky terrain that's covered in snow right now. And who has our highest passive perception?
Mine's 10.
Mine's 15.
Anybody 15 or higher? Anyone 15 to 20 in passive?
16.
Okay. Who said that?
16.
Oh, Angus, thank you. Yeah, so Angus, why don't you give me a perception check? And I'll keep your passive, but maybe if you go higher than your passive, then maybe you notice something a little bit more.
Ooh, that's 11.
11. Okay, so we'll keep your passive, which is 16, right? And so as you guys are walking, maybe Angus kind of starts to move towards the front for whatever reason, kind of drawn towards the front of the caravan. And looking at the snow, the rocky area, you're about to go around a bend to the left, right? You can't. It's a blind kind of corner, mostly trees and rocks around you. And you, just as everyone was paying attention to Drax, you heard like what you swore could have been like the flapping of wings off in the distance. And you heard like a sound. But everyone else was kind of like distracted, right, momentarily. And you picked up on that. And then when you got up to the other side of the ice, you can see what appear to be, there's like a large hole. There's like large, I want to say almost a person size, a little bit larger, like 6 or 7 foot radius holes every 30 feet in the broken earth. And there's like one in front of you that you spot, like something came out of the snow and then 30 feet away went back into it. And you notice that the next one is 30 feet away, right on the turn, where you guys are about to go around the other side of this rock, this large rocky area.
Is Warren with me?
He's like, yeah, he's up towards the front. He's like looking back and talking to Drax about how kind of like chastising Drax on walking a little bit lighter, even though it's probably his fault that, they took this way. Yeah, so but he's not paying attention so far to you.
What about Nora? Is she with me as well?
So Nora like pulls up beside you. She walks up and she goes,
"Okay,
I've been out here a bunch of times, but what the hell is what made those?"
Yeah, I'm not native to these lands either, but something pretty big must have been going through this area. Yeah,
interesting. You think we should tell everybody else? Warren, and he's like, Drax, Warren. And he looks over. He goes. She points to she like has her arrow pointed towards the hole in the ground, and he goes, "Oh, that's not good." And as he says it, there's like a skittering, like some more ice breaking towards, like right under you. It feels like Angus, you see coming towards you, the earth start to kind of like crack up, like some of the ice kind of, so it's just buckling under something, moving quickly under it, and then this huge like centipede type creature comes out of the ground, and it just looks like a kind of like a worm with a bunch of legs, and all blue with 2 big bug-like orange eyes, and then it almost looks like it has wings open up on the side of it, like almost like a what do you call those? Those flying squirrels. Like it doesn't have a wing, but it puffs out like a cobra, and you can see that it has like these orange. So it's like orange and blue, and it's like skittering, and it's kind of looking back as though something was chasing it, but it turns back and it sees you, and on defense, like Angus, you just know it looks like it's going to strike, even though you don't know what it is. Roll for initiative. as we go ahead and do this, I'm gonna go ahead and you guys continue to role play as this is happening. I'm gonna set the scene here, and then we'll play it out. And if this is a good moment, if anybody needs to like take a quick run to the restroom or fill your drink or get some food.
Yeah, I immediately yelled out, "Everyone to arms!"
Nice.
Nice.
Drax is just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, go over the like, he said. It'll be fun, he said.
That's
So are we rolling initiative,
Yeah, sounds like it.
making sure I'm keeping up.
I don't know if Malcolm ran off, but how far away did you say it was?
Oh,
you're muted.
You did.
You did, Angus.
Still muted.
My bad. Yeah, since I'm up in the front, so I'm assuming it's ahead of everybody else. It popped right in front of me.
Well.
We'll be right back.
Just told my kid what we're fighting. He's like, oh, I want to watch.
Not stoked about the idea that something bigger and badder is hunting it right now.
Right behind it, yeah.
Yeah. We'll be like, yeah, victory! And then like a dragon shows up.
Well, it's kind of like, a dragon letting us have his home and then coming back around and attacking us,
Has that happened before?
In the last campaign, yeah. Oh, cool. I always count Malcolm as the coolest figure.
Everybody, and then the little gnome.
Yeah, I will definitely be in the back.
Alrighty. So everyone should be able to see the board. If you'd like to pin it, you can. Let's see. I will go through. One thing I also didn't say at the beginning of this campaign that I meant to share with everyone is that if you find that some of this campaign is difficult, like the what I was like reading about it, like they actually even say in the module that the heroes are kind of like meant to kind of rise to the occasion, and so you will actually find yourself early on in this game, possibly in scenarios where it might even be. There may be scenarios where it might be best to run. I'm not saying that's this scenario, but if you find that the challenge ratings are crazy, like the monsters are crazy strong from jump, it's by design for this campaign. So that's kind of like my warning, because it's all about giants, and so the idea is that it's going to take you guys a while to get strong enough to fight giants. All right, let's do this. Move to the encounter. I think I need to add someone because I think Drax was added later. So let me make sure he's in my Storm King's Thunder. Let's see. Yep, everyone's there. That is good. All right. Aramis, can you give me what you rolled? I'll go down my list that I see here, and I'll ask for what you rolled for initiative.
16.
16, awesome. Lee.
I rolled a 17.
17, good stuff. Magnus.
20.
20. All right. Now, as this thing also, as I ask you, what I'll also do is as this thing bursts out of the earth, I put, because Fang was definitely up towards the front with Nora. This is this guy. Actually, I hate when I'm using my hand, you guys, and blocking you guys. But this will be this will be Warren. This will be Nora. This is going to be Fang. If I get to you, I'll also ask you if you want to like move up to 5 or up to 10 feet. If you want to reposition where I have you on the board, let me know. But Magnus, I have you right here. You can see in like kind of that pinkish base. Are you fine with where you're at?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Yep. And then Lee, I had you. You're up front, so you can't move because that's where you were where the combat cracked off. Bryn, you are here. Would you roll? Sorry.
I rolled a 21.
21. All right. Do you want to move up to 10 feet?
Yeah. I would want to get closer because I see something threatening. I probably am going to hit it.
Yep. So you go rushing in.
Yep.
Durga, our Janasi, you're right here. And what did you roll?
13.
13.
Can I move a little bit closer?
Yes, I can move you in front of Magnus there.
Oh, perfect.
Or our worst, as far as I can move you is right there if you want to be there.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. Thanks.
Just taking up position there. And then I don't know who Peppermint Butler is. Maybe that was somebody.
Oh, that's me. It's that's my like username.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Let's see if I. Okay, so for some reason it didn't update, so I'll put you there. Would you roll?
19.
And it's Quinwich.
Yes.
Oh, actually, I guess it doubled you because I do see Quinwich. What'd you roll?
Oh, 19.
19. Okay.
Oh, it doubled me. Maybe I have to get rid of the other character.
It's not a problem. It's not. Yeah. It's not going to affect anything. I just so I do see Quinwich like right under it. So.
Okay.
And then there's no one. Did I miss anybody? Fid. I have a.
Zorogash.
That's Zorogash. Okay. And is there anybody after Zorogash that I'm still missing?
Did you get me?
No. Let me try this one more. Okay. Everybody keep their numbers. Actually, let me write them down. So 16 because what I realized I need to hold on. Everybody keep their numbers.
Put them in the chat too.
We can put them in the chat too. So give me 1 second. What I need to go back to do is what happens is if you add more people to the game when you build out an encounter, it will change and you literally have to edit that encounter really quickly. So to try to do this as quickly as possible, where is it? All right, here we go.
Guys might roll out the gate.
Edit it. All right.
What? It can open inwards.
Storm King's Thunder. Okay. Magnus. Okay, this one looks correct. That last one was wrong. I think this one gets rid of all the other.
What?
Okay. So Aramis, what were you again?
16.
I know I could look in the chat, but since it's the way it's listed here, it's easier for me to just kind of go down the list. Drax.
I'll stop putting.
Got 20.
20. Lee?
17.
17, okay. Magnus again, sorry.
20.
20, nice. Bryn?
21.
21. And, okay. Durga?
13.
13. Quinrich?
19.
19. Sapper?
15.
Good stuff. And Zurgosh? What was that again?
9.
9. All right. Last but not least. So, okay. All right. So we will kick off our combat. So this thing starts to break through the, through the ice, kind of skittering like a centipede, stands up, kind of hisses. And you notice that, like, as it broke also, like, around it, the ice, like, was, like, almost melting and hissing, kind of like steam is pouring up as though it itself was generating heat. That heat helping it, like, move through the ice very, very quickly. And it extends before you. Bryn, you look like you are top of the round.
So seeing this, would I recognize what this is?
What I'm going to assume everyone probably hasn't seen it, but what I will do is, because I imagine a number of players may want to ask the same thing. If you do decide to do that, I'll have you make a history check to see if you either know about it or you come across it. And I'm going to say it's going to be high. So it's going to be a DC 20 history check.
I can't roll that. So
And it won't take your turn. It won't take your action. It's just basically, yeah, if you want to try it, you can.
Yeah, no.
All right. So what do you want to do as you see this thing standing before you?
Okay. So how far away am I from it?
You are about 20 feet.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I have my great axe out. I'm not sure if I would actually run in and actually try to attack it before I see what it's going to do.
Okay.
But let me see. I think. Does it look like it's going to attack us?
Oh, it does.
Okay.
I mean, it looks. I would say that, like, just the menacing presence of it. It almost like a snake. If a snake saw you, right? It coils back. It seems like surprised, so it coils back and it's like ready to strike. And this is all happening within seconds, so you don't know what it's going to do. But it looks menacing. It does look.
Then I'm going to rage.
Okay.
And I'm going to attack.
So she rushes forward, starts to run through the ice, and you hitting it with a axe.
My great axe.
Great axe. All right. Going to give me an attack with the great axe.
What? 5. Okay, so I don't get advantage on attacks. Okay, so I got 23 to hit.
That does hit. So you slash. Actually, that's like you're cutting into ice. It doesn't sound like that, but it slashes into this thing, and it kind of hisses, and it gets hot, almost like a bit of like it doesn't look like lava, but as you cut into it and you scar this thing, the liquid running out of it seems to be boiling, like the blood seems to be like boiling in, like, or has a reddish hue. Go ahead and roll your damage.
So I hit it for 9.
9 damage. All right. So after you slash into it, I need you. You're within 5 feet of it. So,
Yep.
Oh, wow. You don't even make a test. You're just going to receive. Give me 1 second. So you take 4 fire damage as the blood splashes out in just the heat of this thing that this is emitting around you, almost like fire. It counts as fire damage. So you take 8 as just cutting it, just being near it. The heat itself is like an oven, forcing you to have to like feel like you need to back away, Bryn. As that happens, Drax, you are up. As you camera swoops over to you, you're standing right here, looking at the little dwarf, just rush past you quicker than you could into the fray. What do you do?
First, Drax looks up on his D&D Beyond app. I think I have some fire resistance. I just want to see what that means.
You're fire resistant. I think you might even be. Yeah, you're not. I don't think you're immune, but I think you're definitely fire resistant. But you can look it up to confirm it. For the sake of time, until we confirm the rules, I'll give you fire resistance for time. You're a red dragonborn. Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, I saw it in there, but anyway. Yeah. So, me seeing the lava come out, so I'm just gonna run up to this dragon with my great axe and shield.
Go for it.
And shield.
Nice. So I imagine almost seeing that you are planning as you strike to try to block that heat. Strike and block is the approach. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but go ahead and make your attack.
Okay.
And you're at 2 attacks right now, right?
Yep, I'm at 2. 9. I got 16.
Okay, and I'll start putting in the chat so it's gonna be Bryn and then Drax, so everybody can kind of then Drax is next. Okay, what'd you get? 19. That hits. Why don't you just go ahead and roll them both, see if you hit your second attacks, and then roll your damage. And I recommend for a group this size, roll your damage with your dice. So you pick up your damage dice, right? And you roll your d20. And so if you miss, you just don't count the dice. But if you hit, you just count them all up. And then you're done. And then after Drax, it's going to be the creature and then Magnus. So... And then after Magnus, it's going to be Quinn, Rich, Armus. After Armus, Sapper. And then after Sapper, Lee, Fang. And then Durga. And also feel free to, in these moments too, you guys can still, while this is happening very quickly, I like roleplay still be a part of combat. So if there's something you're saying or you're doing or you can call that stuff out while. Drax, did you roll your second attack? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
Did you hit it on that second one?
So on the second one.
All right.
On the second one, I got 18.
Okay, that hits too. So I just need both of your damage for both of those attacks. You can just total them up.
I did a total of, let me see, that was 13 damage.
13. So you're cutting into this thing, you slice again, and as you block that first heat and you slash again, what you realize is it doesn't matter. It's not the blood, right? You saw it splash on Bryn. It's just being within proximity to it, and you take 8 heat damage, fire damage. Oh, fire. So you take 4 because you take half of that. Sorry. So I rolled 8. You take 4. So it's almost like the heat coming off of this thing is like your shield is starting to get hot. But you give it the full 13 damage. It kind of hisses, kind of moving through the ice, and then suddenly Magnus, we're on you, and you're right here.
Would you say, or do you want me after every long rest to let you know that I did that blessing of the forge thing where I bless one of my pieces of gear or what I have been
I'll assume if it's something you plan to do all the time, I'll assume you've done it. So just tell me when combat who you've decided to bless.
Right on my bad. I would probably have just blessed my armor to grant me 1 more bonus to AC.
Okay. You say you bless yourself?
At least because it's a feature for the Forge Cleric domain.
Okay.
It's just after a long rest, you would say that.
Okay, that's fine.
Let you know every time.
You know. I mean, I'm not a stickler. So, for example, I don't track bows and arrows. So you're never gonna run out of. But what I might, if you roll a critical 1 and you have arrows, I might say that you're out of them and it's time to resupply. If you shot a bunch of times right over the past. Right. But I imagine that stuff that is just. tracking it just slows the game down, and I think of the game more cinematically. So I imagine if you're going to do that, I imagine he's going to always do it. So for me to be like, did you actually do bless? You're fine.
That's perfect. My
Yeah.
bad. Just making sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. So, so go ahead.
I will probably try to, like, get to the right of the creature as much as I can with my movement.
So this is about like 20 feet here. Do you want to go in further?
My full 30 works. That works.
Yep, so right there. Okay. So you're still within, like, you're either like 10-foot range of the creature. Any particular action or attack or...
I'll use my bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon behind the creature, like 5 feet, like behind it.
What does your spiritual weapon look like?
It'll just be like forge hammer, but kind of like a goldish hue, I guess, amber.
Yeah. So I've been waiting to use my spiritual weapon, so I'm going to give you. So you said it's behind him. So I know you can't hardly see that, but it is a spiritual. Up in there.
That's awesome.
That's rad.
Yeah, and what I'll do to mark it so that you can kind of see where it's at any given time, I'll put it on this red. So that's in the red base behind him. That's your spiritual weapon there in the background. All right. So can you? I think it's a bonus actually. So can you attack on the same turn?
Same turn.
You can, right? Yep. So go ahead if you can want to make your attack with this. With the
roll it attack. It's only 11.
So it goes kind of like hisses as the weapon swings. It brings those kind of wingish spread in, and it just misses, and it flies by, and it kind of spins back like Thor's hammer, and starts to hover, and as if some invisible strong arms are holding it, preparing for another strike later. Your spiritual weapon takes no damage from being close to it, and then. We move from Magnus, if you're done, to Quinrich Farfoot.
Do you want to take my action?
Oh, yes, because you didn't give me a full action. Yeah, you just moved and then you did a bonus action.
Yeah, I'll just cast Bane on the creature.
Bane. All right. Can you remind me what Bane will do to the...
Makes the charisma saving throw on a DC of 14.
All right. Rolled a... -3. God dog it. Okay, so I got a 13. That's probably a fail.
Right on. Yeah, the DC was 14.
Yep. So you got it. So what happens?
So whenever it makes an attack roll or a saving throw, it has to remove the D4 from the number.
Okay. That's So what does it look like when you cast Bane? If you don't have it, it's fine. You don't have to sit here, and I'm not putting you on the spot. Just giving you a chance to role play a little bit more. If not, I'll move on to whoever's next.
He'll hold up his shield and look at the holy symbol that's on the back of his shield, and press his nail into his right hand, releasing a drop of blood, which is the material requirement.
Awesome.
And, whisper something to it, and just some energy kind of accumulates around its head and then dissipates.
And the creature inside is feeling like it's been marked and cursed. And as we then move to Quinrich, our halfling.
So I'll say, well, that doesn't look fun, but this could be good practice. And I'll run to the behind that raised platform to the right of me.
This one right here?
Yeah, and I'll put I like this in front. Yeah, I'll put my back to it.
Okay.
And just get out of the line of sight of I'll just be with my back to it, with my line of sight out of the way of the creature. So my back is my back is to it. I'm knocking my arrow, and I'm gonna turn around the corner, and get a good shot, and then turn back into the.
Nice. So I'll give you that account as a hard cover, right? So if it attacks you from range of a +4 to your AC, right? And you're going to go ahead and notch and shoot that arrow. Fire at it.
Okay. All right. I got not good. 5 + 9, 14.
So as it's hissing and moving all around, your arrow is close, but not enough. Just kind of flies out of the way there, missing.
Then I think I get an extra attack.
If you do, then yep, you can go again.
I'm not sure if I do action. Oh yeah, actions, attacks per action too. Okay. Cool. Try it again. And this time I got nice 20.
That hits. So that's so the second one was kind of like trying to dial in the shot, and then it missed, and then the second one you like lined it up, and it's almost like you put the arrow where the creature was going to be, and you let a shot go
Sweet.
up.
And then I rolled a 3 + 4 at 7 damage.
7 damage. So it lands like somewhere like right under the in the neck, or I guess whatever be part of the neck area, somewhere like right here, and this lodge in the creature, and it hisses. Some of that liquid running out, smoking, every kind of causing the ground to hiss all around it. If you're done, then we move to Aramis.
I think Lee's ahead of me actually.
Oh,
because Lee got a 17, right?
Yeah.
he should have. Somehow Lee is a 14. My fault, Lee. So right after Quinwich, you'll have to remind me because I can't redo it. So yes, you're right after Aramis. But go ahead, because you are right, and that is what it says. Yeah, for some reason. Yeah, as you can see, some reason I even put you lower in the chat. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, you can go ahead, take your turn.
Okay, so it's on me. All right. So I'll focus my key, put my hands together like this, and then the inscriptions on my prayer beads begin to glow bright yellow, and I'll cast Hex at the creature.
Bane and Hex. All right.
Creature will have disadvantage on Constitution saving throws.
I need to make a check of some type, right? Or
nope.
Nope, just hexed. Yeah. All right, and I'll have disadvantage on what's that again?
On Constitution saves.
Okay. So as you hex the creature, so it is now marked yet again. It's Bane and now hexed.
That was my bonus action, and as my 2 attacks, I'll throw 2 darts at it.
Nice.
So the first attack.
And the creature has to already -4 from all of its rolls, correct, Magnus?
Attacks and saving throws.
Attacks and saving throws, okay.
All right, first attack is going to be 15 to hit.
Just missing.
Just misses. All right. Second attack is going to be 16 to hit.
Just missing. So now you know the DC is 17 going forward.
All right. So, all right. That's my action. So I'll move back like 15 feet.
Okay. Uh-oh. Right about there. All right. As he leaps out of the way, or Lee kind of drops back, our Genasi Paladin, it is your moment. Durga, you're all right.
Well,
did I miss somebody else? Lee?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, it's Aramis.
Oh, it's because I went down. Okay, sorry. So because I have him as lower, I'm looking at who's next in Lee. So it's like Sapper. So because Lee's out of order in a weird way. So Sapper, yes, you're up.
I thought it was that is 16. So it's Lee, Aramis, Sapper.
Yeah, I'm a 15.
Oh, Arnis. So we did Quinrich, Arnis, Sapper, but Lee should have been before Arnis.
Aramis, yeah. Right. So I haven't got
Aramis. Okay, so that's where I have it wrong. So that's because I have Lee 2 down. Aramis, you're after. Lee's after Fairfoot. Then it's Aramis. So Aramis, go for it. Then Sapper. Then
so Aramis, being a clever boy, is not going to go up with his rapier. He's going to grab his short bow.
Okay.
And I'd like to move up so I'm kind of tucked a little bit behind Lee.
And to be honest with you, since there's only one creature, the fact that once the creature's gone, you guys can go out. It's pretty much on you guys because there's only one combatant. So I'm sorry, but go ahead, Aramis.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna grab my short bow.
Mm-hmm.
And can I move up so I'm kind of half tucked behind Lee there?
Behind, yep, right there.
All right, and then I'm going to fire my short bow. It's an 18.
18 just hit. It hits.
All right, and then since everyone's gathered up there, that is going to be sneak attack damage plus short bow damage. So that's 4, 10, 19 points of damage. And
takes all of it.
And then for my bonus action, I'm going to use Master of Tactics to do the help option for Durga. So seeing the way the creature moves, Aramis is going to shout out some kind of tip so that Durga can get advantage on her attack.
Okay. Awesome. So yeah, she's kind of like eyeing this sizing it up, seeing how it's trying to dodge the attacks, and so Durga gets an advantage on the next attack.
It's basically I get to use help as a bonus action
Very
at
cool.
30 feet of distance.
Okay, and so not to be wrong, then after Aramis, then it is Sapper.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna run to where the other guy hiding behind a corner.
Yep. Little guys stick together. Here we go.
Yeah. I'd be like, well, I guess, well, hopefully we don't get hit from here. And and I will cast Toll the Dead.
So many people. I know. You guys, it's like a little military squad. Like it's a little militia. Go for it. You're doing what?
Toll the Dead.
Toll the Dead. Okay.
So Wisdom save of 15.
Wisdom save, and I get saved, so I get to minus. So it rolled a natural 20, but it will minus 3. So 17 and yep. So 17.
Okay. Yeah. So you succeeded. So no damage.
No damage. Okay.
No.
So it doesn't take that. It kind of shakes whatever you're trying to do off. Hisses again. Anything else you're doing, Sapper? Any bonus action? Anything like that?
Don't think so. Double check. No,
I feel you, Cheryl. I see that fan.
So Malcolm.
Yes.
I was actually supposed to attack twice.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I should do it now. Okay.
Yeah, do it now. Go ahead. Get it back. I'm sorry if I ever jump past you. Just call me out because I'm just trying to keep things moving for you guys.
So I hit with a 25.
That's gonna hit. Anything over 17?
Okay. So and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. So that's 11 points of slashing damage.
Okay. So it's just taking these hits and then going back to where Sapper was. Then Lee is already gone. So are we officially at Durga?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you take a D4 off of that saving throw?
Yeah, I did. I rolled a natural 20 and I took 3 off.
My bad.
That's why it was a 17. No, that's okay. Yeah, good call because sometimes I'm gonna forget that kind of stuff. So feel free to call me out. So yeah, I did remember though on that one.
My bad.
No, you're good. Durga, you are up.
Okay, I'm very new.
Yeah, it's okay.
For the help action, would that be just for advantage on one of my attacks?
Yes. As long as if she does it again, then you'll get advantage again.
The first attack, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because help is essentially an action in the game that anyone can take, but if you decided not to attack, you can just give your help to someone else, and she's able to do it as a bonus action. So.
Okay, awesome. Am I within 10 feet of it currently?
You are.
Okay. So before even moving forward, I'm gonna do a vow to myself of enmity as a bonus action.
Okay.
So that I can, for the next minute, have advantage on attack rolls against it.
Okay. So if you're new, what you'll learn about D&D is a minute is forever. It just means forever until the combat is over. Because no combat. I don't think I've ever played a combat that's gone past 10 rounds. And if I do, I'll just end the combat because it's just ridiculous. It's like 10 rounds. So it's so funny because if these were movies, they would all be like 1 minute, less than a minute. They would all take place in like 30 seconds. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'll do advantage on both of my attacks because I have the extra attack.
Beautiful.
So I'll move up to it within melee range.
Within melee range, you are within 5 feet.
And I have both my scimitars out, so I'll try to slice with both of them.
You got it.
12 and 13.
Oh,
that's so bad.
So you're swinging, and this thing is just kind of moving away. She did get, so that 12 and 13 was your first attack, right? Because that was advantage.
Oh yeah.
Because remember, you get advantage, so you get a whole nother 2 rolls to see.
Okay, so then the second one, 15.
15 misses.
Hit.
Anything else? Nope. Did you re-roll the second attack twice?
I did.
Okay, because she gave you advantage, so I figured I'd give it to you on both. Okay.
Yep.
So 15. So you're surprised at just how quickly this thing, like a snake, is moving, and the fact that it's being bombarded by multiple, human folk or humanoids, and that it's like moving, so quickly. You've never fought anything like it, but you're slowly eyeing it. You realize you just need to, for the next turn, You're kind of realizing what you need to do to hit it. At that moment, though, you start to feel that heat emanating off of the creature, and you will take 6 heat damage, fire damage. I keep saying heat
And is
damage.
that I have fire resistance as a genasi?
So you take 3. There you go. Yeah, awesome. I love all these fire resistant characters. I didn't even know they were going to be there. It's like perfect. So as this is happening, from Sapper to Durga, Zurgash, last but not least.
All right. So I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast on him from way the heck over here, so I don't. Take
Yep, there you go.
And I'm just gonna yell, "Be gone, beast!"
Love it.
Okay, so one of them got.
One of them did not hit.
No, yeah, one of them didn't. One of them did.
Well, it's a little loud, but that's an Eldritch Blast.
So one of the 2 beams hit with the 23. The other one didn't.
Okay, so 23 will definitely hit. Go ahead and deliver its damage. And the way the creature's looking so far right now is like, you guys are surprised. You guys are dealing a healthy amount of damage to it, and it's just trucking. It's just so large. You can see where you've cut it, but it doesn't seem to have slowed down much so far. Still fighting.
I only hit for 2 damage.
How much?
2.
2? Oh, God.
4.
All right.
Big 2. Big 2.
Big two. So both blasts go off, one striking it kind of right in the midsection, and it kind of hisses and moves back, whipping itself around, preparing as we move into the second round of combat. I know that tonight's game's probably going to go to like 8:30, because I know that's usually when Ohan jumps back. That's when we'll start closing things out right around 8:20, 8:25. So we probably got a whole nother round of combat still left in us, maybe a round and a half. So not Drax, what am I saying? Bryn, we're back on you. If I didn't miss anybody, Bryn, you're up.
Okay, so I am going to attack again.
Okay. And now you know at this moment you will continue to take fire damage if you stand close to it.
Yeah, well, I have fire resistance.
Fire resistance,
while
you got
I'm
it.
raging, so that's good.
Good.
Okay. My first one did not hit. Well, wait a minute. 17? Does 17 hit?
That hits.
Okay. Barely.
Yes.
And so, and in the meantime, while you guys are all attacking, Nora is like in the back. She's like firing shots at this thing. The 2 brothers are rushing forward and trying to find a spot. I imagine they spent their entire turn working their way around the sides, so they might arrive where they can get a good shot in on this thing, on this round somewhere. If you're just like thinking about what the NPCs were doing. But sorry, go ahead, Bryn.
So the first hit him for 16.
Okay, 16 damage. That's a healthy strike. And it sounds like you're...
The second attack hits as well.
Uh-huh.
So 15 on that one.
For damage? Jeez.
Uh-huh.
Love it. So as you slice into the bottom of this creature, it whips down and it kind of coils back. And as it hisses and drops its head forward on the first strike, it drops down low enough for that little dwarf to just kind of, just swing upward and cut off one of the tentacles that are on the top of the head. One of the feelers goes flying off. And at that moment, almost like a pivotal moment in combat, you guys can all see that the tide is kind of turning on the creature. It's looking wounded. It's looking hurt.
How much damage do I take?
Oh, and then now, yep, that's going to be halved, right? So you take 2 damage. It rolled really low. 2 fire, because that's already half, so it would have been 4. So you take 2.
Okay.
As it's like wheeling away from you. At that moment is Drax. You're up.
All right, so I am gonna go for another slice with my blade.
Uh-huh.
And I actually landed at a 17, and I did 2 damage with the blade. And
Okay.
then on my second attack, I missed. But I'm expending one of my superiority die,
Okay.
and I am going to use menacing attack. So
You
you
got
have to
it.
do a wisdom saving throw and beat 15.
And I still take the minus D4 away from Magnus for X. So it rolled a 12.
That's a fail. So that means that that you are frightened of me.
Wow. So this huge thing is like looks at Drax with disdain and fear, and will not approach you.
It takes an additional 3 damage.
All right. How much damage did you take in the first place? 'Cause I think I missed that. You took 3.
So a
plus
total of 4.
4. Okay. Took all of it. So you guys got this thing on the ropes. It's if it was a video game, it'd be flashing red. At that moment, Drax, while it can't attack you, it kind of veering away as quickly as it can. It kind of hisses and just attacks the first thing it sees. And I'm gonna do. It's not gonna be Drax. It's either gonna be Bryn or it's gonna be Durga. Creatures in front of them. 1, 2, 3. It's Durga. 1 through 4. It's Durga. 1 through 4. 5 through 8. It'll be Bryn. So I rolled a 3, so it's gonna be Durga. It's gonna be the attack. It's going to. All right. So 27 on Durga, which I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
As the attack hits you, and it's going to do. And Durga, I need you to give me a. I'm going to make a call here because this creature automatically does this, but I'm going to give you a chance to escape by giving me a. You can do either athletics based on strength, or you can choose acrobatics based on dexterity. It's going to be a high number you got to beat.
Okay, I'll do athletics.
All right, go ahead and roll and tell me. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Make it a save. So it'd be a dex save or a strength save, because sometimes those are higher. Sorry, on your sheet, those are usually towards the. If you're looking on D&D Beyond, they're like right under your main stats on the upper left. Your saves.
Yeah. Okay. I rolled a natural 18.
18. Okay.
Plus 2, so 20.
20. Okay, so you do fail. It's a 22. I wanted to give you a chance. It was close. It was close. So as suddenly you guys watch it snatch Durga, like it just comes down this huge mouth, grabs her, and starts to whip her back and forth. So just your legs are out of this thing's mouth. You take 20 piercing damage from that.
Damn.
Then you see it goes up and it goes, and her legs go inside as it swallows her. Once it swallows her, you then take another 5 fire damage. So you're 25 damage now, and you are now restrained and grappled until and let's see, it can no longer bite right now, but it's like holding her. So essentially, you're suffocating, you're restrained, and you're grappled. So
and was the fire damage halved?
And the fire damage is half, so you only take 2. And you'll take a certain number of fire damage every turn. You'll take 2 every turn that you're in there, but you'll also start to suffocate, which I'll go through that and count. Right now, you'll probably be fine, but Durga's inside the creature's stomach.
Okay.
As this happens, we move to Magnus. Wait, or because I did do because we did Drax, so it's Magnus. Yeah.
I'm just gonna take a swing with that spiritual weapon as a bonus action.
Okay. Yep. Go for it.
24 to hit.
Okay, that hits.
5 damage.
Oh wow! So she'll take 6d6 acid damage every turn that Durga's still in the stomach. So yeah, you guys got to get her out. So you did hit it. Go ahead, give it damage. Remember, it's losing. So if you can kill it before it gets to the next turn.
5 damage from the hit.
Okay.
And then I'll toll the dead and make it do a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. And I did, by the way, with the number, it still would have hit her with the minusing your D4 to the attack, because the attack is so high on the creature. So I rolled a 9 on that. Minus with the wisdom is 0, so yeah, -3. It's gonna fail to 6.
Right, it'll take 3 necrotic damage.
3 necrotic.
Yeah.
All right. So you can describe what you're doing as you toll the dead and what it looks like as you do all of this to it.
Just like squeezing the hand shut, and then like some radiant energy surrounding the being, and then popping off with that bell sound.
Beautiful. So as that happens, we then move from Magnus to Quinwich.
All right. I'm gonna as I prepare to shoot from my bow, I'll like knock the arrow and it'll gather some force energy. So like kind of this energy starts gathering around it. My like planar warrior feature.
Yeah.
As my bonus action, and then I'm just gonna turn around the corner and try to hit it with that. Yeah, like that.
All right, go ahead, give me your attack.
That is 12 plus 9.
That's gonna hit.
Sweet. And 7 plus, where's my attack here? 7 plus 4, so 11 damage. Oh, plus another D8 for that.
And because you're aiming, can you also give me an advantage insight check?
Ooh. So that's 6 plus 2 to 8.
8. Okay, so you just shot it. Nothing else. You don't get anything else from it, but you're hurting this thing, and you could tell that it is slowing down, and it almost. I guess what you can tell from that 8 is that it might. That most from being out in the wilderness, that the average creature won't fight to the death, and so you're kind of. I imagine you're thinking like, when is this thing going to try to turn, tail, and run? And you're hoping that it's there. You're hoping that its spirit is broken at this moment. We then move to Quinrich to Armus.
On me, actually.
Yeah, Lee.
To Lee, then Armus. Yeah, then Sapper. Yep. So Lee, you're up.
All right. With my spear equipped in hand, I have 40 feet of movement, so I'm going to use my full movement to rush ahead at the creature, and then with my forward momentum, I'll just thrust at it and then stab right in its abdomen with my spear.
Go for it.
Oh, that's a natural 1.
Oh, so as you miss as it turns sideways, like hissing, and it appears like the creature is like whipping around, almost like that's why you miss. It's like turning away from the party.
All right, second attack. I'm gonna hit it one more time. Better. Okay, that's gotta be 23 to hit.
That hits. And I know what you're about to do after this. I always know what the monk's about to go into.
So damage is gotta be. Was it 8 points of piercing damage plus 2 points of necrotic damage? And then I'll spend a key point to do stunning strike. DC is 14.
DC, okay. Oh, I have to do a
Constitution save.
Constitution save.
Yeah.
And then because with disadvantage. Yep, so it rolled a 2, and with the minus, it fails. it goes down to a 1.
All right, so it's stunned.
So as the creature, as you punch, I mean, what is, like, where are you trying, like, what do we see? Like, almost like, is it like in the movies where we watch it, like, break a bone or something inside? Is it X-ray, or is it, is it something he actually does, or is it the technique? What would you like to share?
Yeah, so with the back of my spear, with the blunt end, I'll just look for a pressure point, and I'll just hit it right in the pressure point till stun it.
Yeah. So wham, and it right as it turns sideways, you strike it right on the side, and that energy flows through the whole creature, and the creature looks like it's diving down, like it's about to go into the snow. And as it does that, it like feeling that energy, it goes, and it coughs, and we see Durga go flying out of its mouth, and as she goes flying out, one of the brothers, like leaps to catch, kind of like grab her, and they like both collide and fall down, smashing into the snow right around there. We haven't seen if she's okay yet, but it's coughed her up. It's now stunned, hexed, baned. You got anything else?
Yeah,
Lee?
actually, I still have a bonus action, so I'll spend one more key point.
I figured you do.
I'll spend one
Monks
more.
are always like, Muck, are you done yet?
I do flurry of blows.
There we are.
So first attack is gonna be 18 to hit.
That hits.
Second attack is gonna be 17 to hit.
18 to hit, 17. Those are both hits.
Okay.
Jeez.
First attack is going to be 6 points of bludgeoning damage,
All right.
plus another 1 point of necrotic damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then this final attack is going to be, oh, nice. That's 9 points of bludgeoning damage, plus another 4 points of necrotic damage.
So it's holding on, but this is probably going to be the last round for this creature if you guys keep this up. It is. You can see it slowing down. Give me an advantage insight check, Lee, as you're striking this creature.
Okay. That's going to be 23.
Awesome. What you notice is as you're striking it is that you're up close and personal. Things kind of slow down for a second, and you notice, like, as it's turning away on its back, it has 2 large, huge claw marks raked across its in this area that you notice punching it that were already clearly too large for any of you to do, but you notice that, and so you could tell that this thing has probably been on the defense for some time, and you probably get the feeling that it was running from something before it ran into you, and just in its defense continued to fight to save itself. At that moment, Durga, I'd like you to give me a insight check.
Oh, that's horrible. I rolled a 6.
It's a low one, but I don't. 6?
Yeah.
Okay. So so you're just too busy, like, trying to get yourself. I mean, it makes sense, like, right? You were about to, you're coughing up all the ichor and stuff that's in your face and on your armor. Your 2 blades, trying to clean them off and get ready for combat, so it's fine. As we move away from Lee now to Armus. Yep, it's on you.
All right. Can I, with my 30 feet of movement, close with it?
Yes.
All right, cool. Then out comes the rapier. And when I'm up in melee with it, I'm going to cast Green Flame Blade.
Okay.
On my rapier.
And you are right there, yep.
And then because I'm up close, I also get my sneak
so
attack.
you're rushing in, right? So
yeah.
I'm gonna make you just make it.
This one. All right. That's a 19.
It's still stunned, so it kind of whips back around. All right. 19, that hits.
19. That's fine. Plus. Oh god, math.
I know, right?
8, 10, 15. Okay. 19 points of damage. Aramis unsheathes the rapier, and as it comes out of the sheath, this green magical flame sort of burns along its edge as he makes a slash with it.
Give me the damage.
19 points of damage.
19.
Jesus.
So at this point, you are, like, you end up slashing off, like, with that one blow, like 3 of its legs on one side, whoosh, and they just go. We watch the slash go through, and they part, and they begin to slowly fall away, skittering on, falling into the snow on the ground. This thing it suddenly was so ferocious, so big, puffing out chest, is like low and coiled, and just trying to find a way to escape at this moment here.
Oh, shoot, dang it. Bonus action help on Sapper.
You got it.
Sapper gets advantage on the attack.
And then Sapper's next, right? So, yes.
Thank you, but I don't attack.
Anything where advantage would help.
but I don't attack, so.
Oh, dang. Can I change it? No.
So I'll kind of. Who's next to me? Who's the?
That's Quinrich, right? So it's Quinrich, and then you're
Okay. Like, yeah, those claws didn't look like something we want to go up against, and I'll cast Toll the Dead again to try to finish it off.
Okay. It needs to make a disadvantage check, which you got a natural 20 on the first roll, got 11 on the next roll. Perfect. So 6.
Okay, so then I roll 2d12.
Dude, you guys spelled this thing to death.
Got 12.
12 damage?
Yeah.
Okay. Still alive, but on its last leg. And so is anything else you want to do, Sapper?
I got none.
Nope. So this thing, it looks hurt. And literally as you finishing that off, As we move over, our last two people in line is Durga and Zurgosh. Durga, you just got swallowed by this thing. And I imagine you're prone from getting spit out, but as you're standing up, it whips its head around and sees you. It's eye level. What do you do? Not to mention now, because it's eye level and you have the high ground, its AC has dropped by 2.
And it's still within the minute, so I still have advantage on all my attacks.
Yeah, oh yeah, you still have it. Yep, you still got all that.
Okay, so I'm going to bring out my slimy.
Wait, you had advantage from the help action, right?
I actually didn't cast.
Oh, that's
sorry.
what it is. It was from
My
your spell.
power.
Yes,
Yeah.
you still have that. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, then I'm gonna try my 3 attacks since I'm dual wielding, right? I get a bonus action, extra attack. Okay.
Because you have 2 actions and then you have the bonus action from the duel. Yeah.
Okay. Natural 20 on one of them.
Oh, of course.
Very mad.
Very angry.
Okay. And 16 on the second one.
So the 16 hits as well.
Okay, and then 18 on the last. So they must all hit. So the first one with the natural 20.
Kill it.
Yeah. Okay. Is,
I know. What an awesome finishing blow on a crit.
Man.
So
yeah, so crit, you get to double your dice. So you're doubling your dice on the first attack. You're doing your second one.
Yeah. So 6 on the first one. 6 on the second one. So 12. And 6 on the last one, actually. So 18.
18 total?
18 total.
How do you, what do we see as you
I'd like
the creature?
I'd like to try to, is it possible to jump up and slice its head off? Possibly? Or is it too big? Okay.
It's a huge cut, but I imagine she can try, and I imagine as she leaps off, she's going to slice through the top of the neck, right, downward. And so you leap up, and she's, I mean, is there anything she says as she does it?
Just pure rage screaming. Yeah.
And it slices through the side of the neck, and the head doesn't come completely off, but it just drops and dangles, right? Because the neck was so thick. And as the neck is dropping, Zurgosh is standing there, right? You didn't get a chance to get back to your turn, but you're watching the creature go down. Is there anything you do? Do you just give her the thumbs up, or anything you want to do in this moment? No? And so the creature's neck is kind of separating, and as Durga, as you slam against the ground, all goes quiet as you have bested your first creature, and you all are kind of just huffing, and not much of even a moment has gone by, but your blade is full of the ichor of the creature. The creature hasn't even collapsed yet. It still has no head, and it's just teetering like a snake, right, upward. And then before you can even look up, Durga, you see a shadow kind of go over like that. Everyone else saw something that terrified them. And you hear, and as you look up Durga, the creature is gone. As this huge dragon flies by and snatches what was left of the creature before it even hits the ground, and then peels up towards the sky and starts to careen off to the right, and continues to fly away, kind of peter off into the distance, taking its kill, taking its meal, not even looking at you guys, but everyone saw it just drop down low, snatch its meal, and take off, leaving just the spattered, steaming ground around you.
I'll shout, "You're welcome."
Oh man, so that was harrowing in that moment. I know we're about to close out in these last just couple minutes and in the game, but is there anything anybody wants to share, where they're at? I mean, literally out of nowhere, Warren is like, "Well, I'll be damned. You guys are worth every goddamn penny."
Is that creature's head still on the ground?
Yeah, the creature's head is fell off and is slumped, so the head is still there, and the 2 big bug eyes, mouth is all open. If I was to, it kind of looks like that, like a little.
Is there any teeth in there? I think.
Yeah, there's some teeth in that open maw.
Yeah. I would try to pull out a tooth.
And then suddenly one of the bros goes, Anybody might want to check this out over here. And if anyone goes over what he shows, he picks up is like right behind this rocky ridge, buried in a little bit of the snow. If you look in closely there were eggs.
Oh.
And what you assume probably the creature's eggs that it was defending from the dragon. But it is more.
Looks like we earned our meal for the day.
Who is a barbarian here?
Me.
I need an advantage history check. You only need to hit 8 or more. Imagine this. Oh, actually, no. It should have said a little bit 10 or more because it's actually I'm thinking on a turn. I'm actually thinking about giants, but I'm gonna give you
the 13.
I'm still gonna give it to you. So I'm gonna give. For some reason, I was thinking about barbarians, but in frost giant lore, which you've heard that frost giants sometimes use these centipede-like creatures called rimeras as pets. And sometimes they collect those eggs and keep them. So you have found what appear to be Rimmer's eggs. Is there anything you guys want to do with them? Leave them? Move on?
I would like to take one.
We should try. Yeah, we should take them.
Yeah, we should take them. I definitely want an omelet tomorrow morning.
And eat one, yeah.
Someone could pay for these.
So there's probably not enough space for everybody to take one. They're pretty large, right? So
works for me.
Okay, so we're gonna take some of those eggs, and I just hear any last moments, anything anybody want to share about their character before we end today's session, before I take control.
Yeah, I won't be the one taking an egg, but I'll just kneel down and I'll just say a prayer for a hard-fought battle.
Yeah.
Aramis looks at his like bloodied rapier and he's like, ah. And he has to go and like find some snow, clean it off. Make sure it's still shiny before putting it back in the sheath.
All right.
Drax takes his shield, puts it into the snow, and it just starts steaming all up.
It's actually
hot here, man.
I don't have anything to say for my character, but that was just amazing. That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun.
So as everyone is standing there, suddenly as you look up, because I imagine you guys are still looking up towards the sky as this dragon careens away, suddenly you see something in the distance moving kind of quickly, but it was moving very slowly. It is a castle, several hundred feet, but floating in the sky on a giant cloud. And it starts to loom, its shadow starting to develop over this entire area. And as it does, slowly but surely, clouds begin to wisp around. It looks like a tower, and I would at the bottom of it, these clouds start to form a stairway leading down hundreds of feet until they land right at the base. Standing in front of all of you is a cloud of stairs leading up to the tower, and out of nowhere, just appears a small metallic ball. And it seems to have like an eye on it, like zzz, 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 and it moves and it sends out a pulse, like a bluish green aura that seems to kind of scan you all. And as you feel this strange feeling inside of you, you feel like this magical energy has rushed to you, and it goes and it makes some noise and it disappears. And then there you are standing in front of this castle in the sky, or this tower in the sky. Not a castle, but a tower, like almost like a wizard's tower, with a rolling staircase. And I just want to know one thing: do you ascend the staircase or do you walk away?
I'll say, now that looks fun, and I'll walk away.
And regardless of what you do, we'll end on that as Rich goes, now that looks fun. Fade to black in today's episode. Thanks for playing, guys. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Good night, Drax.
Thank you.
Absolutely. If you guys want to stick around for a little bit, I always like stay on and talk to folks if they want to talk about the game or anything you want to share. But that was a lot of fun for a first game. Absolutely.
What were those eggs called?
They're Rimmer's eggs. Rimmer, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the creature is spelled Remorhas. The Rimmer's, yeah. And so they're, yeah. Yep. So
and sell those, make some gold.
You mean you don't want to raise one to ride?
No. That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, so now imagine so what Bryn knows is that she's heard lore stories that could even just be wives' tales, but that the storm giants have been known to use these as pets and raise them. Now, this one doesn't seem like it was a pet of anything because it clearly seems to be wild, but it's just something kind of like that she just kind of she pops in her memory, and that you can share and you guys all may know now. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun. This one was just like, just a precursor to getting to Bryn Shander, and wanted you guys to all test your mettle in terms of a fight, and that's pretty cool because that creature is way above you guys' level, but for the fact that there's so many players, it made it like a very simple combat. Because like a crew of like 4 or 5 could probably get, and then it was also hurt. It was wounded from the dragon attack, so I was kind of So it was like a little bit lower and fighting off, but that was good. It was fun. And I mean, it's always awesome to see what a group can do when they've got nothing but action economy on their side. There's not too many things that can stand up to a large group like that. So good stuff. Hopefully you guys had a fun time, Travis and Brittany, I know you guys have been waiting to get a game in for a long time, so hopefully it was a fun time.
No, this is our first time like playing online, so
really?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I really try because I feel like online can be hit or miss because it's online, right? Like there's a joy to playing this game around a table, so that's why I don't use nothing against Roll20 or any of the virtual games, but I just find there's something about being able to see plastic minis on a board that I love. So that's just
format was really cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Glad. So anything we can do to improve, let us know. So I haven't decided if this is going to be. What I'll do is I'll probably make this would everybody agree? Would you rather this be a bi-weekly game or a weekly game?
Well, what else you're going to be doing, because
it's good. Okay, here's what I'll say. For my sake, let's make it a bi-weekly game.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
if the large group becomes, I might find a way to maybe make a 2-party game if we need to. Right now, to be honest with you, unless you guys say otherwise, it wasn't that bad having a big group. It was kind of cool because some of you guys are in one, 2 of you are in one screen, so it wasn't so many people that it felt like we were Brady bunching to a point where I couldn't manage it. But I know it is a little bit slower because you're waiting to go. Some of you, if you're in combat, you're way down on the initiative track. I am mindful of that, but I did enjoy all of the characters. So we'll see how it goes. And like I said, it's a low in terms of what I'm trying to say. You don't have to feel like you have to be at every episode the way I'm going to try to. And that little, I'll just say this: that the teaser at the end, that little thing you saw, is going to be a mechanic that plays into when people. So if Cheryl can't be here because she's got finals or something like that, that little creature, that thing you just met, it's going to be the reason. It's going to be the lore reason why some characters blink in and out of the game from time to time. So it's called a blink device. I don't know if you guys ever seen the blink dogs, but there are certain monsters that can blink out of existence and reappear. And so this thing is built on that same magic. So you'll learn more about that next episode.
Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Good. So I'll try my best not to spam the stunning strike way too much.
I mean, you're a monk, so it's only expected. It's like if the monk's turn is 3 people's turns.
So Malcolm, you need to have some
pow.
for his karate chop. I was expecting a.
Yeah, I know. I gotta get some more. I gotta start using. I'm really quick to go to the arrow sound. But
I love the arrow sounds.
Yeah, the arrow sounds so good.
That's awesome. You have a force arrow sound too.
And I think I have the punching sounds, and I just never use them, which is sad. I gotta get those in there. So I will.
A flurry of punches.
Yeah. Woe be to the person whose initiative is behind the monk, because chances are you may not get a turn. Yeah. It's just I attack and then I attack.
Took my kill.
So that was good. That was not planned, by the way. I wasn't trying to give that to you. That was really cool, Durga. You actually got the last blow after being the one to be eaten. So that was
awesome.
Sometimes the dice just play out that way.
after I was swallowed, our dog came up and sat at our feet and literally put his head in my lap. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, thank you.
And it was cool. It really worked by the rules because the creature has a thing where the threshold is if it takes 30 damage in a turn, the creature that's inside will get coughed up. So it was taking a bunch of damage. So it got spit up. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
That was really
So worried that it was going to turn into, oh, welcome to the first session. Your character got eaten and then the creature ran off.
Right? I know, I was hoping that at least, at the very least, my finger would be touching me for like lay on hands, worst case.
So it was good for sure. Oh yeah, so unarmed strikes, but they sound like this. Let's see. Ooh.
Ooh.
We got some punches now for the month.
I like that.
That's pretty good.
That's like hitting raw meat.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was really cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for this one and see where it goes. Yeah. So have you guys?
One.
Yeah. What was that again, Deborah?
That's just the warm-up creature.
Yeah, that's the warm-up. That's the.
To do. It's just gonna get worse from here.
It will. Yeah, it's gonna probably be. Yeah, when they told me, like, when I'm reading it, they were like, because I'm looking at some of the giants at level 5. It could be really nasty if you're fighting like several of them. So it just depends. But
Does this story lend itself at all to having characters that are giants, or is it always going to be giants on the other side? And
I don't want to give it away. That's the kind of I will tell you this. You're on the right track of thinking, because when it comes to like even like the dragon games, right? Some people are like, dragons are in this game, we got to kill them all. But like, there's probably dragons that you can reason with, right? And that you can use to your advantage. And in that opening that I played, they talked about the Dragon Wars, because I actually have run the Tyranny of Dragons campaign before this one. So it actually makes sense that even within my world and within the D&D world, or the actual campaign, what do you call it? The core, this happens after the dragons are beaten back. And in that campaign, there were plenty of moments where you could, talk and side with good dragons in the fight. So yeah, long-winded way of saying yes, you probably will come across some good giants. But I always say what it really comes down to is will the party really be good? Because I have found out playing D&D all these years that they're questionable. Heroes are always questionable, but their lore, their history, always ends up being good and being good people. So yeah, that was fun.
Always one troublemaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
he's not here, but it's trapped. He's gonna attack everything.
I think it's Aramis and Quinn. Because Quinn's like, that's fun, and Aramis is like, yeah, let's start trouble. And
yeah,
a little chaotic here.
Yeah,
just a little bit, just enough to make a profit.
I won't make him say anything, but I definitely gave Magnus a little like similar information.
I think I know what it
So to keep it to himself, so that was
fun. Nice.
Yeah. So you guys have
here. So I think I'm not, like, oh, I'll never tell what Aramis is up to. They were marked cards. So, like magicians have, so you can see what every card is by looking at the back.
So I was giving her advantage on all her sleight of hand rolls, which was already extremely high, which was like hard for you guys to beat her through the chat. And then she rolled a 26 on her sleight of hand, and I think Magnus rolled a 24, and it was close enough to just I revealed to him, like, you think he's cheating, but you can't prove he's cheating, right? Like, it was like, This how he's up to something. This elf is up to something,
The two rich guys, if I'm ever in proximity to rich people.
It's like David Blaine. He's doing some kind of trick, but you can't figure it out.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, Brittany and Travis, you guys just start playing online? Were you guys was it like before COVID that you guys were playing like with like friends and stuff, or?
Yeah, we had done a few one-shots with a friend of ours named Val and his girlfriend.
Nice.
And some other friends. Just like one-shots, very small quests, nothing even this large, like 10 levels long.
Nice. That's exciting, man. I'm glad you guys are here, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. And yeah, it's fun whether it's a one shot or it's an expanding, adventure. But I will say the longer you play, particular characters, it does get interesting as they start to, develop. The more it's like a good novel, right? The more attached you get. So yeah, hopefully you won't lose any. We won't lose any.
Yeah, the more attached you get, the more scared you can knock them.
Yeah. And to this day, every time a character dies, no matter how close we are, people don't talk to me for like 3 days. So, I've gotten used to it. It's okay. I feel the pain. I feel it.
But that's what makes it fun, though, that the fact that your character can die.
Can die.
Feels real.
It feels real. Exactly.
It adds that weight,
Yeah, that's the stakes are real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to tell people that's what I even look at hit points. I don't, because in a movie, right? Hit points are a like we were talking about this with Sean, like on our happy hours, that I see hit points as a combination of. Some people just see it as blood points, right? So the first time I get a hit point, I'm suddenly bleeding and I'm have enough to where I die. But what about arrows, right? Are you really have 5 or 6 arrows in your back, or is it really sometimes you're dodging those arrows, sometimes those arrows are hitting your shield, causing your muscles to strain, and then that one that hits you when you only have 2 hit points left, that's the one that that's the one that's lights out. So like you can also look at hit points as much as they are about how many times you might get cut. It's also just like it's almost like plot armor, right? That's why if you start at level 5, I was telling a hero at level 1 is really no different. The ranger at level 1 is no different from the ranger at level 20. His plot armor is a lot higher. Like a stab in the stomach or through the heart should still kill you at level 20. It's just that you've got a lot more plot armor, a lot more ways to get around getting stabbed in the heart than the other players. So I don't know, just my way of like looking at it to visualize it.
It is really cool.
Yeah, so that's cool. And I wanted to enter. So the white dragon was also a fun play on. There's this white dragon has been looming since all through their first campaign, named Kyrovane. And so that was because if you know the D&D starter, we played the starter set, which is Minds of Fandelver, but I also kind of overlapped it with one called the other new one that they have out called Icespire Peak. So no one's actually gone to Icespire Peak, but there's like some, people know about this white dragon, and the white dragon had been fighting the green dragon that they killed last campaign. So now that the green dragon is gone, the white dragon is starting to assert himself a little bit more and try to establish his domain. And he's still young, and I think people see it from time to time, but no one's actually been like, we want to go kill it. So I just put it out there like it's not necessarily a part of your main quest, but it's open. If you want to go after it, he's there. He's always around, So yeah.
Yeah, well, what's young for a dragon? They live pretty long times.
Oh yeah, It's like dwarven years. So because in D&D, dragons are the most intelligent creatures, in the world. Yeah, it's funny. Like you get players that are used to more like reading like the Game of Thrones or watching the Game of Thrones movies, and like they look at dragons more like dinosaurs or whatever. But when you realize in D&D, they're like, no, they can turn into people. They can disguise themselves. They're extremely intelligent, and they have like 4 limbs, 2 arms, and then wings on their back. So they're no joke.
I feel like dragons are kind of like Greek gods.
Yes.
They're petty. They have like shape-shifting abilities. They're just interesting characters, right?
Yeah. And that's why it's weird. If you think about like Dragonborn are kind of like born off that, like the dragons mixing with the humans and stuff, like coming down and like, so they're definitely are, have that quality. And
you are begging so bad right now.
I don't know if I ever plays video games, but that's kind of the same lore if you've ever played Dark Souls. And like there was like this idea that like in the beginning, like it was the dragons warring against the giants. And those have always been like the 2 kind of main factions. And then the humans were just kind of caught in the middle of it. They kind of like grew out of the ashes of that war. So I'm excited to see where giants. Definitely had to buy a lot of giant minis. I'm like counting on I need more giants. Some of these
that'll be cool to see.
Just had to.
Yep. You guys give me reasons to buy whole bricks of miniatures. Just sit there, like open them up. Like, I didn't get the one I wanted, So, yeah, we're gonna need a lot of giants for this one. So, yeah, because giants have always been like a one-off creature. Like you put one on the board, right? You only need a few. And I'm looking through this book, like, what? 6 fire giants? I don't have 6 fire giants, Yeah, it gets like that. It gets to that point. So, yeah, should be fun.
Oof.
How far does this go? It's like a campaign that can take you to like level.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I will say that all my campaigns though never follow. I never follow. Like, there's a point where this is going to go completely off the rails, and I won't be following anything. And who knows? Like,
the players probably won't need it.
It's because of you guys. You guys,
yeah.
And but it's like level 10 and up. So like around 10, somewhere I hear that you can like finish the campaign around 10 to level 13, something like that. But yeah, you never know. So I did not put expectations on experience points. I am going to do milestoning just because it will help me. It'll just be easier than like, because they're constantly tracking experience points with all the other games I'm running, and then like so it'll just be easier to be like, here's these main B points in either when you hit moments in the story that I think are extremely poignant or important, or you guys just do something that was just crazy cool. We'll do milestone leveling up. Yeah.
Nice.
So it should be fun. And it will apply to everyone most likely will apply to everyone in the party. So even if you're not there, because I'm not one of those people that's really petty about like, oh, you missed 3 episodes, you don't get to level up. Because you have people that come in and they're like level 6, everyone's level 8, and I don't want it to feel like that. So I don't want to feel like you're not necessarily being penalized for not making a game, but the reward for making the games I would think would be in like the story, will be like in the things that you're able to get and and collect for your character, and kind of being deeply immersed in it. I find that that's really the reward for like versus someone who comes in and wants to play a one shot. So yeah, but both serve their purpose. So, yeah. Good stuff. I like the new characters. I like Zurgosh. You're the first bard that has never like played a song, told a story, anything. So I'm interested.
Let's see if we can get him to sing.
Yeah. Now I will say this about that character. What I will make you give me, Katarina, is he's got to give me something about like, because when it comes to a bard, your magic comes from either that ability. So you don't have to actually do it, but I mean, even when he does magic, is he weaving it? Is that where it's coming from? And if so, how is it? Does he at least play the instrument when casting magic? Just wondering, unless your lore says otherwise.
It's more in like the words that he says.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like more like a poet, like he strings spell words together, right? Okay.
He's a college of lore, right?
Lore, yeah. Yep. That's kind of like I have a Rectavio in my D&D campaign. He's an NPC, half elf that doesn't just tell stories, and all of his magic is weaved in those stories. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay. I'm a shaman, so I got some medicinal herbs.
I see you.
Get you speaking some good poetry.
That's awesome. There you go. Yeah, you get some bonuses from taking those herbs around those campfires. It's pretty cool. It's good stuff.
Do you guys normally meet in person? It looked like it in the meetup group. It looks like, are you guys all from like LA area, I think is what it looks like?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. Like, we started that way. I was having meetings we have one in Thousand Oaks, Los Angeles, and then our normal meeting spots for my games were like Saturdays in San Fernando Valley. I don't know if you know, because I don't know where you guys are based.
We're San Diego, so.
Okay, San Diego. Okay, nice. Yeah. So, yeah, we're out here like in the San Fernando Valley area, and so I just started doing this, and I was kind of dreading going online, and then COVID happened, and I was like, I got to figure this out. I got to figure out how to, keep the games going, especially because we were just getting into our campaign when this all kicked off. And so, yeah, we transferred. Once I did get online, I realized I was like, oh my God, I can play with everybody. Everybody can play, and it was an eye-opening kind of moment, because we have players that play with us from Ohio, like on our Wednesday and Tuesday games, and they're playing so when they get off the call, sometimes we're talking till like 10:30, and for them it's like 12 or 1. It's like, dude, it's like, go to bed. So it's great. It's great to be able to connect everybody.
That's cool.
He used to live over here. Like, how did he even connect with it? That's Troy, right? Is he the one?
Troy. Oh yeah. So Troy plays with. So I'm on Instagram if you guys want to follow any, because I always put up like posts and pictures of the games. And this gentleman _ Game Master, and I follow another account called the D&D Club, and they do what I do, which is games online on Meetup. You know, because they're for paid DMing, but a lot of high quality. It goes into the stories and stuff, like a lot of time spent, right? And they are, I would say the one thing in difference about D&D Club is they're a little bit bigger than us. They have way more DMs running the games, but it's a little bit different in terms of the focus, right? And so Troy was playing with their group, and then heard about our group by seeing us on Instagram, and then was like, I want to try after seeing one of my videos. And was like, no, I want to play with you guys. I'm going to try to play with you guys. Nothing against this group, but I definitely got to start playing more over here. And I know the guy who runs that group, Adam. So we're all cool, because no sweat off his back. I'm like, Adam, you got some of your players are coming over to play with me. Is it okay? Like, I want to make sure I'm not like stepping on your toes. But Adam is always trying to recruit more DMs in the Los Angeles area to steal my players. So he does the same thing. But I don't care. There's no competition. I play up that just for fun, but I think it's really just for our games, though. I think that if you do, I always even recommend play games online, play with other groups, see what you think, see what you'll find what works best for you. I don't want anybody to ever feel like you should just play with our group. But I will say, if I had to pat ourselves on the back, is that we really try to create an immersive game that I think that other people do too. But sometimes if you find yourself playing online games, I always just describe it as like the dragon is there and you're like, I would like to move up and cast Shatter. Okay, Shatter. That's 15 points, 15 points of damage. Dragon then responds with a reaction. All right, you take 15. And it's just like, okay, we're just playing a board game. So I don't want it to, that's the goal. We don't always achieve it, but the goal is that role-playing never stops, right? And the story is at the forefront of everything. So, yeah. So,
Malcolm, when you guys played in person, did you come out? Because I know you guys played at Louis Bar, right? Or Bar
Yeah.
Louis. Did you show up with all these minis and set pieces and everything? Yeah.
They used to see, bro, it was the best, because when I first did it, I was so scared to go out and play D&D in public. And we play in a bar, and we play like while people are watching football. So they gave me the long table in the back of the room, and I really miss it. And that's why I say, for anybody that plays online, some people are like scared to eat their food or bring your, because that's part of D&D, right? Like, I know we all can't be together, but if you want to eat on the call, you want to drink on the call, bring your stuff out. This isn't a corporate Zoom meeting, but we would take that back table, and I would come in the morning. I'd get there before the bar opened at 10 a.m. And I when I first came, I came with my first box. It looks like a toolbox, and bring it to the back and start busting stuff out. It got to the point by like week 3 or 4, we'd be bringing like 3 or 4 crates, just like, and like bringing them to the back of the place. And there'd be moments where you'd have like all this stuff set up on the table, and it got to the point where the waiters were just walking by like, oh, wow, today they're on the water? Today there's a pirate ship? Yeah, it's a pirate ship today.
Those were large setups. Like, that was a large table, and the entire thing was used. It was epic.
It was crazy, Yeah. And you'd have people like cheer when like somebody scored a touchdown, and then somebody hit a critical roll in the back of the room, and like, ah! And everybody watching sports would be like, over there, like, there's like all these geeks in the corner, like, yeah, we're having a great time. So I miss that to its core, but it was a lot of fun, but yes, we were bringing in a lot of stuff, and to the point where like I used to come in there on a Saturday and be like, that's where that D20 went. It was like under one of the bar tables, you're just like finding miniatures that you left in the restaurant.
So,
yeah, at Battle Mage, it's a brewery here on Wednesday or Tuesday night. They play D&D.
That's cool.
Nice.
It's like 10 minutes from her house. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. I had a coworker who went there too, and she was describing it. She said they talk in crazy voices and are yelling. She was like trying to describe it. I was like, oh, they must be playing D&D, and they play Magic there too. So
that's far just like dedicated. It's called Battle Mage.
See, that's so cool. I've been to one of those in, I think when I went to, where did we go? I think it was Texas. For like a corporate event, and we all went to one of like a bar that was specifically for gaming. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like all the food was, themed after everything.
Yep.
There's one out here in Burbank called Guildhall. Yeah, it's actually really cool. They have food and a bunch of like board games like free to use. You know, they just have them on the stand. But I was talking to the owner, and they said that because they also have TVs all around the bar with like Twitch streamers and stuff like that. And so they said that they had the finals for Rocket League. I don't know if you guys know that game.
Yeah,
it's like soccer but remote control cars. They said that during the finals they closed down the parking lot, had taco trucks, and they said it was like a Super Bowl. You know, just like
cool.
nerd haven of just watching Rocket League finals. It was
that sounds so cool. What I really love though about being in a place that wasn't dedicated to it was to just slowly. I felt like there was like a power emanating, and that was slowly like bringing other people into the game. Like there's some people that are like that they're at the table next to you, and you could tell that they're eavesdropping. Like, what are they talking about? Did she just say she's? They're kind of like looking over and they're whispering, and at first they look like they're snickering, like they're kind of laughing at you. But then by like the end of the hour, like they're on their way to the bathroom, like, hey. What are you guys playing? Like, what are you guys doing? And you tell them, and they're like, man, it seems really cool. Like, everybody seems so into it. And before you know it, they're like, oh, can I come and get a game in? And you're like, yeah, man, anytime. It's great. I love it. So, yeah.
There used to be such a stigma behind it.
Yeah. I mean, it's changing now. It's kind of one of the cool things to do now. But I think that, for a long time, that stigma was very real, and I still get. All my friends still give me shit, like when I'm like, cause I'm into cars and stuff, and when I'm not going to a car meet, I'm like, oh, I can't make it because Saturday I have an event, and they go, and my buddy's like, oh, he's fighting dragons, and I'm like, yep, like dragons, like I got D&D to do, so, but it's such a great game though, so.
I didn't even know that a game existed at one point. Like when I was a kid, I was reading like Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman books, like Dragons of Summer Flame or like Winter, like all these little series.
Yeah,
the Dragonlance, right?
Game existed.
Yeah.
So
when was your first game? Like first time ever playing? Period.
Val introduced it to us years ago, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago.
That's cool. Yeah,
it's a buddy of ours that lives in like downtown San Diego, and he grew up. And I had like played Magic as a kid, and she got into Magic too, like the card game,
Yep.
We had never done D&D, never had friends that actually wanted to get a game together. And when I actually like would play one, everyone would drop. You'd do like one game every like so often.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's great. It allows you. What I always describe it as is like it allows you to take some agency over your idea of entertainment, right? Where you have control over that, similar to video games. But I think it takes video games a step further. While I think a lot of my video game friends see D&D as this archaic, like it was a stepping stone to video games. I like my friends who don't play that all play, and I'm like, no, what you don't understand, there's something. I get it that the people that play D&D wanted to like bring that to the masses, but there's something about D&D that is still kind of beautiful in its own way, because when you play a video game, yes, you have open world options, but your options are literally at the limit of what's been programmed. Even if it feels open world, it's never really open world.
Yeah, exactly.
And my players are always surprising me, making me go, shit, I got to rethink this entire story now. And that's what is the kind of, that's where you're like, yes, it's truly expanding as you play it, no matter what the DM is. If you're, I think some DMs might, always work things towards their end goal. But me, I'm more like, if you guys change something and it makes more sense, I think the best stories have always ended by allowing the story to go wherever the players are kind of taking it. So
infinite branch options.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's gonna be a fun one. I'm glad you got to play Sean. I know we haven't played in a while. I think you played once in Bar Louie. That was our last time.
With also the huge group.
With a group of like 9 players.
Yeah.
Fighting that was so that's funny to come back, and this is our first big group online. I think that was
sweet. I've been looking for a while, like for I feel like 2 months I've been like clicking through, but it's I always see like the group is like reserved for like a bunch of other people, so I'm like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna wait. And so finally this one up, I'm like, all right, I'll try.
And that's why I didn't. That's another reason why I don't want to say this group is going to be reserved for anybody. But I wanted to be like, hey, first, like when you guys see it post, jump on, get your spot, and then you're good. Because I know that feeling. I've been talking to Brittany for a long time, and I'm like, she probably thinks I'm never going to open this game up. I wish she would hit me up, and I'd be like, 3 more weeks, and then it'd be like 4 more weeks.
Well, and I've been so excited that I've been like, it was 3 weeks ago. Like just being so ridiculous. I asked you so many questions. Thank you.
No problem. There was one day where I was like, I swear it was funny. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it was a day I was like, I haven't heard from Brittany in a while. And then like you hit me on Meetup like, hey, so is this game happening? I'm like, yeah, it is. It's coming up. We're planning it right now.
Well, because exactly what Sean was saying, that's what I kept seeing the groups fill up. So I was like,
yeah,
I'm going to have to hit this dude up. I'm going to have to just be like, hey, can you reserve my spot? I'm not fast enough. And since Travis doesn't have a meetup, I was like, can I reserve 2 spots on my one account? So concerned.
Yeah, it always happens. Because I tried that with and that's what happened with Cheryl and Deborah and Kat. They've all played Ohan, and they were so quick they kind of became the main crew of that last campaign. So even though it was always open, people felt like, ooh, I can't get in because it's their story now. I get that feeling, it happens. So we're just trying to create a space so that as many people can try to get in as they can and get some games going. Because I get it, the Strahd games, they're kind of landlocked right now with their players, and they still have a couple spots open, but I think they're so far in that people are way too intimidated to just be like, I'm not jumping in that story at the point where it's at right now.
Knowing what I know about that story, yeah. there's a lot of moving parts going on.
There's a lot, yeah. And so I don't want to have to do that with this game because I don't think I can afford another 2 separate groups moving around the world at the same time.
Well, isn't there giants and dragons? There's 2.
Yeah, see, now I'm like, no, don't make me do that. Don't make me do it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. But
yeah, weekly game. That was cute.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, so much fun. So much so good. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I think we're gonna head out. So
yeah, absolutely, guys. Thanks. Bye, Cheryl. Bye, or guys getting off. Yeah, guys, feel free to jump off if you got to go.
I'm gonna do the same. It was nice to meet everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again.
It's fun.
Yeah, I'll post a game probably for the next 2 weeks. Then I guess we can all just jump off, end it here, and I'll see you guys soon. Then, but thanks for hanging out.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
thank you again.
Thank you,
Thanks for
guys.
hosting.
Great job, guys.
See ya.
Bye now.
Yeah.